you guys.
Getting run over by a train.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's what I said, because every time I put that little thing on, it's like, I was like, well, here it goes, getting run over by a train.
Yeah, fucking 13 o'clock comes, runs you right the fuck over.
That's
yeah, runs you right the fuck over. Like a train. Middle of the night. Nighttime train.
That should be our new slogan. Rolling. 13 o'clock, runs you right the fuck over. Runs you right the fuck over. Oh, you got your OCP shirt on.
Yeah, it's a new OCP shirt.
Yeah, that came out nice. That came out nice, actually.
Yeah, Bee's Nest, yeah. Murder Hornets, he's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shipped out today.
Yeah, they came in finally.
Yeah, and everybody else too who ordered shirts.
It was Next Dimension Media was like the other person that ordered shirts. Yeah, it was supposed to go out yesterday, but the mailman came earlier than I anticipated.
Yeah.
So I didn't get the shit out on the porch in time.
We thought it would be after 12, afternoon.
No, it was more like
10.
It was more like 10 or 11, and I was just like, well, shit. Because I didn't want to leave the stuff out on the porch like for a long time, even though I just, no one would steal it. It's not like anybody really walks around our neighborhood, and our driveway is super long, and you can't really see our front door and porch that from the road anyway. So maybe I'm just being paranoid, but but they took it today. So
people steal shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so I don't want it out there like longer than. I mean, what you can do, I noticed, is that you can either have them pick up your shit like when they come into your house anyway to drop your mail off, which is free. But if you want them to come at a specific time, then they will, but you have to pay an extra $25.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that.
I mean, it would be worth it if it was something really expensive that you didn't want stolen, or if it was a bunch of stuff that you really thought somebody was going to make off with. Right. Then I could see like paying the extra expense. But other than that, it's just kind of like. But I was just kind of like, because I never actually noticed like when the mail came. I always thought it was more like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, but I guess it's more like 10 or 11 in the morning.
It depends. It depends on what.
That's true. I've never really noticed. Well, it's just weird because it's like sometimes it's just like putting the garbage out. Yeah. It's like sometimes we don't put the garbage out the night before, and they're like, oh, we got plenty of time like the next morning to put the garbage out, because sometimes they don't come till like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. But then on that day that we forget to put it out, they'll come at like 7 in the fucking morning. You know what I mean? I'm like, do you guys have a schedule or no?
Yeah.
Maybe they do. Maybe they just do it like one way, and then they like the next week we're gonna reverse it.
Yeah.
And now you were first, and now you're like, I don't know. I don't know what time they come.
Yeah. Danny's in there. Danny, I'll block you, man. Stop spoiling movies, bro. All right. I haven't seen it. You're already telling the end. What kind of shit is that?
I didn't even read it.
Yeah.
I don't
fucking
really
Little
care.
Swole saw it. He said it was okay.
I don't really care.
He said it was okay.
Zach says, I loved your guys' Fatal Attraction video this morning. By the way, I have so much to say about that movie. So did we, clearly. I think that went on for like 45 minutes. I hadn't seen it in such a long time, and it was like kind of fun to revisit it. Makes me want to watch more kind of late 80s and early 90s thrillers. Erotic thrillers. Not that shitty one with Madonna, though.
There wasn't nothing erotic about that. This is what they call it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it was necessarily. It's not a value judgment. No. I'm just saying that that's what they call it.
That's from the point of view of fucking old boomers that are long gone. That's just a damn thriller. You know what I mean? A romantic thriller, or a not romantic thriller, a fucking.
Well, it's like a thriller that like
it's a stalker thriller
that kind of like takes a hard right turn into like horror movie territory toward the end. Although we talked about that on the video, how that wasn't really the original ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that Zach. I remember because I'm pretty sure it was you, Zach, that like asked us to review it a while back, and I was just kind of like, well, it popped up, so I was like, hey, why not? Had been wanting to review that for a while, but And then last night we watched one that we'll probably talk about on Sunday. Yeah. Which is Monkey Shines. Yeah. The George Romero movie from, I think it was 88, I want to say. 88, 89. Something like that. So we'll talk about that on Sunday. What?
No, fucking Danny's in there talking about that. It's better than the Shane Black Predator. The Shane Black Predator. It was frustrating because certain elements of it were good and other elements were really bad. It was just kind of a mishmash of good and bad. It seems like things were shoehorned in there just because, I don't know, part of committee or something. It didn't have a good flow to it. And then they started with the damn super space alien armor so they can fight. No. Just not good. I just didn't think they should have taking it in that direction. I kind of liked the idea of the fucked up dudes from the VA, because I'd be one of them. That those were the ones guys find. That's what I do for a living.
That's what you do for a living.
That's what I do for a living.
You be a fucked up dude from the VA.
Dude from the VA. Yeah, fucking disabled fucking veteran. Fucking VFW member, and fucking, you know what I mean? And that's what it's like. Not all of us, but, you know. Yeah, so
that's why you liked VFW so much.
Yeah.
Although I also really enjoyed VFW.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen VFW, please see it. It's really
good. I'm a VFW member, but I never go. I never go. Those places are depressing.
Which is why they're ripe for horror movies.
Yeah.
That's why that movie was so good. It was kind of depressing in that, but it was also like really interesting.
It's an empty bar of old dudes that are fucking drinking 50-cent shots. Because it's all fucking government. It's government-financed fucking watering hole. And those dudes are in there drinking themselves to death. And most of them are long dead, so it's empty in there. Now it would all be Iraq war veterans, and boy, you might get in trouble in there hanging out with them dudes, because they're trying to make side money too, and not all those dudes are fucking on the right side of the law, if you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I always thought the thing about like the old school VFW, like when my grandfather's and my father's era, was like you said. I think there's something like kind of depressing about old guys sitting around like just reliving their past, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's shit that if I show you guys pictures of me in service when I was in the Army service, because I did shit after, but Army service, I am clearly a child in those photos. Clearly a fucking child. And fucking I go to this biker bar sometimes, and these dudes are fucking wearing shit on their sleeves, and I'm fucking, here, you got any pictures? And I'll show them pictures of my service, and they're looking like that, and they're, because they can barely recognize me. It says, yeah, I am clearly a child. You're walking around talking all this shit about what shit we did when we were children. Yeah. Fucking, what'd you do after this? You know, and then so you're not one of us, this and that. So what unit were you in? And then they don't want to answer any specifics. I was in the 82nd as a door gunner. There are no helicopter. Oh, really? He goes, yeah, and he starts narrowing off air cav units. There are no fucking helicopter air cav units in the 82nd. It's all paratroopers. So those dudes will fucking talk themselves into a trap, because fucking I'll just look up unit formations for those years and what units were in there.
We have the internet.
This is the internet now, you know what I mean? Fucking, so they can't effectively lie anymore, you know? This is what's your DD, you know, you got to copy your DD-214, or you fucking pull out a unit coin, and fucking slap that shit down, and they don't even know what that is, you know? So there's a lot of fucking stolen valor out there in the motorcycle scene. Fuck them fat boys. Those fat boys.
They just want to hang out.
They want to hang out and be fat.
They just want to hang out and like.
Right, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like.
And they go, young motherfucker like you, and I go, how old do you think I am? And they go, well, you're not as old as me. I'm fucking 52, and I said, dude, I'm 53. Oh.
Yeah. So shut up.
Yeah. Why you looking like that? Why you look like that?
Why you look
really
like
fuck
that?
them up? Why you look like that? Huh? What?
Because I drink virgin blood.
Why you look like that? Why you fat? Fuck. Good.
Well, I kind of feel like, it's kind of like analogous to regular ass people that keep like reliving their high school years.
Yeah, who the fuck Al Bundy and shit talking about that touchdown you made in high school?
You made
like the 3 touchdowns
like 30 years ago.
Yeah, fucking.
What have you done since then?
Yeah.
Nothing. Sold shoes.
I am clearly a child in those photos.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't even remember a lot of stuff that happened in high school.
Yeah.
I have to say. I don't even remember a lot of it. I'd say it was a fun time. I just don't really remember that much of it. And I did a lot of better shit like when I wasn't in high school.
Oh, fucking.
Like way after I was out.
Yeah. Well, Gramthars, he's probably in the comment section. We had a lot of fun at that high school. I was in 2 different high schools, though, you know, one in Michigan and one in Brazil. I did 5 years of high school. I didn't do 4, I did 5. Because Brazil wouldn't accept the credits that I earned in fucking in the United States.
They're like, yeah, that shit doesn't count.
No, because school I went to was IB. The school I went to in fucking in Brazil was basically IB rated, International Baccalaureate rated.
Yeah,
it was an international high school. So they're like, wait a minute, hold on, what? You know, no, we don't accept social studies. You know, you should have had chemistry. You know, where's chemistry, or biology too? You know, fucking, it's that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And really, I may have not have actually graduated. I think
intriguing.
What's that?
Intriguing.
Well, they knew that I'd moved.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're like, man, he's been here 5 years. There's nothing wrong with him. Yeah, you graduated.
Yeah, you're fine. You're smart.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, because I think I was like a 1 or 2 credits short. But what are they going to do? Make you pay for another fucking
a whole
semester
year just for like
because,
1 or 2
like
credits?
1 or 2 points? Yeah.
Yeah, they just probably like fuck
Yeah.
some shit.
You're like, yeah, it's good.
Cause shit, man, like 1 or 2 credits. It's like, look, I'll just take fucking home ec or some crap.
But I had been to that. See, I went to that school twice. I was in it for my freshman year, and then I went to Michigan, and I did Michigan I think 2 years, and then I went back to Brazil and did another 2 years. So that's 5 years.
Yeah.
So just how it went.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Well.
I think that's how it went. I've done 1 year and then 2 years.
It was a long
and then
time
another 2
ago.
years. Yeah, something like that.
Fourth Row Down said the Fatal Attraction video made me remember movies like Jagged Edge and The Morning After. I also saw a movie on Netflix today called He Never Died with Henry Rollins. Ooh, I really liked that movie, actually. I saw it a while back. I was actually thinking about reviewing Jagged Edge because I just saw it on one of our streaming services not too long ago. I put it in the poll, but I think it didn't win. Eventually, we'll get around to it, I think. Fourth Row Down also says, I have no desire to relive my high school days. Yeah, me either. Like I said, it was fun. I had a good time. But, I mean, it was a lot more fun than junior high, that was for sure. That sucked. But high school was pretty fun. And I made a lot of really good friends, and, it was a fun time generally. But, yeah, it's like, why would you want to go back there and do that kind of crap?
It was fun.
High school is the worst.
It was fun for me because I went to a good high school, and I was having fun in it.
Yeah,
I didn't have any responsibilities, so I didn't have to make money. And money had not fucking entered the dating scene yet, so everything was just how popular you were, what you looked like, and if you could talk your way up some chick's skirt, you know what I mean? And I was good at that back then. Now, when money became a factor, you leave high school, all of a sudden you're now at the bottom of the barrel because now you're competing against guys in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and they got all the fucking money.
Well, I kind of feel like
in bottom of the dating pool.
In some places, even in high school, you kind of are because a lot of girls like older guys, like college age.
They weren't around in the schools I was in, so it didn't matter.
Maybe that was more a thing where I was.
Yeah, they weren't around physically, so they just weren't there.
Well, I mean, they were kind of around where I was because there was kind of a lot of colleges around, and there was like parties and stuff. So like people you would meet like older.
Not in Trenton and in Brazil, it didn't matter because we were old enough to go to nightclubs.
Yeah, that's like a different cultural thing.
Right, and we had money. Everybody who went to that school in Brazil fucking had money. Like they were all the children of politicians and oligarchs, which was kind of like going with fucking kind of like real rich Arab level wealth, giant mansions and shit, hanging out with the sons of the presidents of their presidents. And fucking hanging out with fucking the dude who would have been king of Brazil had it stayed a monarchy. That kind of shit. I remember him. His name was Luis. He sat right next to me. And he was just kind of a fucking greasy-haired little teenage kid who would wear a big old fucking insulated hand grenade type fucking jacket in the middle of fucking summer. It was like that. It was a weird kid. And he would have been the king of Brazil.
In a jacket like that, huh?
Yeah. You remember hand grenade looking jackets?
Yeah.
Quilted and shit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he had one of those. It's like blue. And he'd wear that shit all year round.
Was he just one of those people that's always cold?
No, he was like...
or did he just think he looked cool like that?
He was just
or did you
constantly walking around like he was ashamed or something, looking over his shoulder. Kind of like real self-conscious. Like he was trying to hide.
I gotcha.
He was one of those. Real shy.
Zach says, wish me luck, y'all. I'm going out for my first cinematography job, and I barely slept last night or ate today, so my body is caching its energy debt.
Okay.
Good luck. You'll do it. You'll kill it.
For what company
It'll be
is
awesome. It'll be awesome. I don't know.
What company?
Find out.
Well, he didn't say. I'm asking him. I'm asking you.
John Goris, I did lots of things as a teen that probably should have killed me. My guardian angel had its work cut out. Yeah, I kind of feel like a lot of teenagers did. I didn't really do that much bad, like I said. I didn't really start being like a fucking hellion until
Brad
later.
Jones says he hadn't been here in a few months. He missed us. We miss you too,
we
Brad.
miss you too. We're glad you're back.
Yeah.
John Goris also said high school was basically prison, and mine was pretty chill compared to what some had to deal with. Yeah, I mean, ours, I went to Seabreeze in Daytona Beach, which was literally across the street from the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. So it was very chill. I mean, basically, you had 50 minutes for lunch. Like, kids would come in, like, bathing suits under their clothes, and, like, lunch hour, everyone would just go across A1A and go over there and lay on the beach and get a tan for 50 minutes and then, like, run back over to the school.
I went to high school at fucking Trenton High in Trenton, Michigan, with Gramthars, Steve Rouse, and Mary Lynn Rice Cup, who's fucking starred in fucking 24. She was my girlfriend. So she was in that. She's now a comedian still. And then went to there, and then I went to a place in Brazil called Escola Graduada de São Paulo. If you were to see it, looks like something out of movies, because it was. I'll play you a video if you want to see it. It looks like fucking paradise. Yeah. Doesn't look like a school. It looks more like an amusement park. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Have you ever seen it?
I think you showed me a picture.
Yeah,
of it
looks like
back,
an amusement
but I don't
park.
really remember what it looked like.
Yeah, it looked cool. It was fun. It had all grades in the same school, but they kept you divided. You know what I mean? Like, it went from kindergarten all the way up to fucking 12th grade.
That's kind of what schools used to be like here, like a very long time ago.
Yeah, they were in different pods. You were all spaced out. They kept you separate. But then it had security and shit, and walls around it, big tall walls, concertina wire, and a fleet of buses. And it was all kind of unmarked, real low profile.
Don't want anybody getting kidnapped for ransom.
Yep. Yep.
Because that happened a lot.
Yep. And they were mostly the children of billionaires. And I was in there. First time I was there, I was a dependent of my mother, who worked for the State Department, and she worked at the consulate there. And then while she was there, she met an American guy from Michigan who worked for a dental manufacturing company called Kerr Cybron Division. They started dating. She left the service and married the guy. Well, he ended up buying that company. So they moved back to Brazil. They were there 12 years. But once I graduated from high school, I fucking split, went into the Army. So they were down there for 12 years. I'd go visit them all the time. That's how I got in there.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
I like your little fox / Katie. Zach says, answering your question from before.
Thank you very much. All this damn money. See, let me see some of them flash bulbs, people.
Zach says, not a company. It's for a local indie mockumentary thing. It's it's a parody of ghost hunting shows. Okay. So you guys might like it. That does sound super fun, actually. Yeah. Tammy says, Jenny, I watched All About Evil last night. Really enjoyed it. Wasn't that fun? I really did like that movie a lot. That was the last one that I reviewed. It was on Shudder. So yeah, watch it. It was from 2010. But it's kind of like it kind of went away for a long time because it came out in 2010 and then you couldn't really get hold of it until they just like re-released it recently. Camp Guy says, whoops, why is my thing? Okay. I never had shit for money in high school or college. Yeah, me neither. My parents were cheap as hell. I had to depend on my meal card to eat. Covered every meal except Sunday nights supper at UGA. Yeah, honestly, I went to essentially a trade school and I got a grant. So I was my grandfather paid for my first semester or my first 2 semesters. And then I was doing graphic design, so he's like, well, I'm not paying for it anymore because he wanted me to do something more practical. So then I applied for a grant, and I got a grant. But, I mean, luckily, like, the college wasn't all that expensive, and I could still live at home, like, while it was going on. So I didn't really have, like, any student debt.
I didn't come from money either. My mother married into it later after she divorced my father. But they got divorced when I was a little kid. You know, that shit didn't work out between them. But my mom, when she was young, she was a real bombshell. So she married upward, you know. I don't know if I've ever showed a picture of her, but my mom looked like...
lots of times.
Meredith Baxter Birdie, kind of pornified.
Oh my God, I remember her.
Yeah, that's what she looked like, yeah.
Wasn't she was the mom on Family Ties? Family Ties, right? The one with...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I remember
She'd make Cassandra Peterson look flat.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No.
Speaking of Cassandra Peterson, she was in All About Evil, the movie I was just talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually like quite funny. Danny Rowling said a back-to-back review / discussion on the films The Shining, the original Shining, and Dr. Sleep would make for a good show. Ooh, maybe we should do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talk so much about The Shining and Dr. Sleep, but still, I mean, I still to this day like will watch videos about The Shining. I never get tired of it. I never get tired of like reading about crazy theories, but I don't even give a shit if the theories are crazy. It's just, I don't know, it's just like really entertaining. Like watching people like come up with different stuff about it. I don't know. I never get sick of it. Let's see. They're talking about Henry Rollins. Rollins used to be so muscle bound, then he went all skinny. What happened? I haven't seen him lately.
Rollins?
Henry Rollins.
He wasn't muscle bound.
I think the last, yeah, he was.
No,
I think the last.
He was slightly jacked, but that's not muscle bound. That's a big difference.
I think the last time I saw him in He Never Died. He was in what the fuck was that other movie? What was that movie that was based on that David Wong novel? God damn it. About the soy sauce, like the drug, and it was all like surreal and stuff. He was in that too, wasn't he? That was a weird ass movie.
Henry Rollins and Glenn Danzig, they were musicians, you know, so they have to go on tour for a living, and it's real hard to stay on the sauce and fucking be able to maintain a routine and that diet with that lifestyle. So they can get to a certain size before some show and a photo shoot, maybe stay kind of like that for part of a tour, but they tend not to be able to maintain that physique, especially back in those days, because they didn't really have the technology. They didn't exactly know what they were doing. They didn't know about how to come off of a cycle. They didn't know anything about HCG or using Clomid to keep natural testosterone running. They would just take some steroids and go work out. And then when they'd run out of steroids, they'd just go about their business, and they'd lose all that they gained over time. Because you can't do that. Can't do that. Your testosterone levels won't be right for up to maybe like a couple of years if you just do a bunch of steroids and then come off. And during that fucking 18 months, you'll just slowly kind of shrink down. 2 years later, you just can't maintain it because you're not producing normal amounts of testosterone. It's way low because they're suppressive. It's testosterone suppressive. But now they know about all that, so they know how to come off of a cycle and maintain what they've earned, you know.
Camp Guy said, we watch The Shining about once a year or more. Yeah, we probably do too. Matter of fact, we just watched it, like a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
Which one?
The Shining.
Yeah, I saw it a couple weeks
ago. Yeah, we watched it just probably like 3 weeks ago or a month ago or something like that. For whatever reason, we were just like sitting there. We didn't have anything particular to watch. I was like, let's watch The Shining again. I've seen that movie probably like 100 fucking times.
Yeah.
Zach Anderson says, hey, gang. Hey there.
What's up?
Yeah, Murder Hornet said he wasn't big. I'm bigger than Rollins.
Yeah.
John Smith said Henry Rollins was big for the punk scene, which had a large amount of heroin and speed.
Exactly.
Tends to make you a little skinny.
Yeah.
I think that's why. And I think he has like a big neck, so maybe that's
Right.
kind of why. I was always just kind of like he has just a big thick neck. I don't know. I don't really think about it, to be honest with you. It's like I think that guys like obsess over that stuff more than women do.
We don't obsess over it. We just notice it.
Yeah. Well, that's what you know. Maybe they notice it more than we do.
Well, it's just instinct in us. That motherfucker, he's big, man. Don't want to fuck with that guy. That kind of shit. Glenn Danzig was not as big as people think he was. Go back and look at photographs of him. First of all, we're about the same height, me and Glenn. I'm 5'6". That's probably about how tall he is. Although I've heard some people say he's more like 5'4". I don't believe so. I think he's probably more
that's more like my height.
Yeah, I think he's
5'3".
Yeah, I think he's more like 5'6". But he wasn't that big. You know, I wouldn't think that he's maybe 190 pounds, maybe. You know, which that's about 193 most of the time. Body fat percentage, mine's probably about between 17 and 20%. It might be 18, 17%. At 15, you start looking real good. At 5, you just can't maintain it. 10, you look shredded, you know. But if you start getting into sub 10% body fat, you can't maintain it naturally. Not even with a pretty strict diet. You got to have a bunch of fucking drying compounds and fucking steroids, slimming type steroids to keep that look. That's why animals look like that. They're making testosterone that kind of fucking holds them in that shape. It's not a human testosterone that can really do that, not naturally. So you're supplementing. They call it supplements. Supplements. Arnold all the time in his little thing. Well, sometimes we have to take supplements. He means steroids. Okay, steroids.
So that's like the politically correct term.
Yeah.
Or they're just trying to like.
They're just trying.
I'm not doing anything illegal.
Yeah,
I promise.
just supplements. We must have to supplement.
They're vitamin supplements.
You're supplementing your diet. That's what they call it. Supplementing.
I mean, see, supplement, that is such a vague.
Yeah, well, you're adding
term.
things.
Yeah,
You're
that
adding
just means
things.
you're adding. It could be anything.
Yeah.
I'm supplementing
Right.
my lifestyle with heroin.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Supplements.
That makes complete and total sense.
Yeah. In case of guys like Arnie and Sylvester Stallone, they were supplemented with testosterone, injectable Winstrol, injectable Dianabol, Decadurabolin, the main ones. They didn't take a whole lot by today's standards, but they lifted a lot though. But back in those days, there was a stigma, so they would just say we're supplementing your diet, because in those days, and still to this day, people think, well, oh shit, you just take steroids, you get big. There's a lot more to it than that. You have to lift weight. The steroids are just allowing your body to heal up a lot faster, so you can lift more, and it will increase. It will increase your size over what your genetic potential was. But as soon as you come off of them, you'll come back down. It's fun getting big, not fun getting small. So you don't want to get big, really. You get real big, those guys die. Your heart's just not built to be that big. It's dumb, This obsession with size and mass, it went too far. Even Arnie was saying, you guys are getting too big, man. You guys look ugly. It's about symmetry, looking good. Olympia was a glorified beauty contest. There's no scores. It's just judging. It's like a Mr. America. That's all it is.
John Gora said, I always liked Glenn Danzig as a rock star. He's an unapologetic asshole.
Yeah.
No virtue signaling at all. Well, I think he has kind of the same issue that Steven Seagal has. Maybe not to that degree.
Not to that degree.
But he just takes himself way too seriously.
The difference is that Danzig can deliver. He delivers.
Yeah, that's a big difference. I mean, if you actually have talent, you can get away with a lot more assholery than somebody that doesn't really have any talent.
Yeah, Seagal,
or doesn't have much
Seagal
talent.
can't really deliver.
Well, especially not now.
No. No. He could put on a good show, but he just was such an asshole. Everybody turned against him, and he was not who he said he was. He didn't come out and says, "Look, I'm an actor. Yeah, I do these martial arts, but I can't beat everybody's ass. I'm just, I'm an actor."
See, can you imagine, if he had done that, how much, we wouldn't even be having this discussion right now. Everybody would actually, like the dude, man, that dude's all right.
Yeah.
But no, it's they have to constantly, no, I'm the most awesome thing ever, and I can do that. And I
learned this in Japan.
I was a Navy SEAL, and I was taught by, fucking magic ninjas, and all this. They shut up. It's just be normal. God damn it.
I think what was happening is he was hearing other dudes fucking lie. Like the guy fucking, what was his name? The one that was fucking, that they made the damn Van Damme movie about, fucking Death Sport. No, what was it called? Bloodsport.
Frank Dux.
Frank Dux, yeah. I think he was listening to Frank Dux, and I think he believed what Frank Dux was saying. So
or he said, I admire your grift, sir.
Yeah, I think he believed it. I think he believed it. He's going like, oh, well, shit, I'm up against that guy. I got to top that. I think he believed it.
My new wig is falling in my face.
So he's making up fake military fucking credentials and kinda. He said he trained the CIA on how to do shit. It's trained.
Like I said, very vague.
No, they don't need you, dude.
Very vague. Yeah.
They don't need you.
Only Steven Seagal can help us in this mission.
It's like Tom Cruise.
Call him up right now. Get the red phone.
Yeah. It's like Tom Cruise jumping out of the sky when the fucking car's wrecked. Hey, I'm the only one who knows how to deal with a car wreck. Hold on.
I'm a Scientologist, motherfucker.
Tom Cruise, Scientologist.
I'm the only one that can fix this. He gives him his card.
Yeah. Put that man on a stretcher.
They're like, thanks, Tom. We got it.
Yeah. Keep that spine straight. Don't bend the spine. There might be a spinal injury. Elevate the legs. Loosen that man's belt. Give him some circulation.
They're like, thank you. We have also taken junior high first aid class.
Right. Put the oxygen mask on him. Stand back, everybody. Stand the fuck back. Stand the fuck back. This is an emergency zone. Yeah.
Right.
Let me direct traffic. Go ahead. Go around. Go around. Yeah. Only a Scientologist can do that.
Now,
shit.
I mean, not gonna lie, if I was driving and I was like on a highway and there was an accident and Tom Cruise was there directing traffic, I would be tempted for a second to maybe just like run him over. I wouldn't do it because that would be shitty, but I would be tempted. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna be tempted. I'm like, what?
I don't have anything against Tom Cruise. I like Tom Cruise. He's a fucking
You
douche.
pulled it in yourself, Tom.
Yeah.
That's what I would say as I ran him over.
He's a douche, but he's a douche, but he can do a lot of cool shit.
I would think about it.
Yeah,
I would think
he's a
about
douche.
it. You know,
I like it.
I wouldn't do it. Like I said, I'm shitty, but that would be shitty. Thank you again, Mark. Oh, now he's got like lots of little, like a little
Mark's
laughing,
laughing.
a little laughing fox.
Laughing with $10. That's part I like. That's part I like. Thank you very much for them flash bulbs.
Hey, that
See them
$10
flash
is very, very
bulbs.
serious.
Roll them out at us. That's right.
John Smith said, I remember Eddie Murphy saying, in a movie, I can kick your ass.
Yeah.
In reality, I'm calling for security.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why everybody likes Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And nobody likes Steven Seagal.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy was... I don't know. You can't say that. You can't say that nobody likes Steven Seagal. I like Steven Seagal. I'm amused. I'm very amused. And he's got a fan base. They got people.
Oh, I know.
He's got a fan base.
I'm engaging in hyperbole.
Yeah, it's hyperbole.
I mean, you know what I mean?
That's right, 'cause
I'm not saying no one in the world likes him. I'm sure his mom likes him.
Steven,
right?
if you're out there and you're listening, don't hold me responsible for what she says, okay? He's going to stand up. He's going to show up at the door. I heard the show the other night.
I keep waiting. For him to show up at the front door.
Is Tommy here?
That would be so funny.
And then he starts speaking to me in Ebonics. Broken Ebonics. Remember how he just becomes any old race? He becomes any old race depending on how mad he is. He's Chinese, he's Japanese, he's black, he's fucking Cajun, he's Italian, he's anything but Jewish, even though he's Jewish. He's Jewish, yeah. I would like to hear him fucking talk like some tailor down in the damn fucking Brooklyn. Yeah, we take a little bit in here, put a little bit. But he'll be any ethnicity other than his own.
Yeah, that speaks to maybe some issues that he should work on with a therapist.
Yeah. He's from Michigan and he's Jewish. Okay, but he never fucking mentions that. He wants to be a Cajun or black or Chinese or Japanese or Italian. He's just a man of 1,000 faces, you know.
But not in the cool Lon Chaney kind of way.
No. He needs a stunt double to go up the stairs. And I'm not lying.
We brought that.
You watch the movie and it's just that's not.
And we're not exaggerating. Yeah. I mean, we're not exaggerating.
He'll be sitting in a chair and have a sandbag and it goes all the way up to his shoulder, so you can only see from his lips up. That's all.
Well,
you're
the
see
older and the bigger he gets, I feel like the camera's just going to keep traveling up until it's going to be his hairline.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean?
But here's the fucking...
Maybe I should do that for this show. I'm just going to have a cardboard cutout of myself sitting over here.
Yeah. Although, see, this is the funny
And then I'll just lay over there like eating donuts or something.
I did see some recent shit that Steven Seagal was doing on the internet. Okay, he's doing it on YouTube. And he was funny. He was kind of making fun of himself a bit.
Oh, maybe he finally learned how to do that.
I think he kind of did.
Maybe he finally
I got to do more research, but he was goofing around. The most accurate I've ever seen, the thing that... Here's the sad part about it. The most entertaining Steven Seagal material outside of his first few movies is his advertisement for his energy drink, Asian Experience. That commercial he made for Asian Experience perfectly encapsulates who Steven Seagal is, and he's funny. It's not...
But the thing about it is that I can't quite tell if he intended for it to be
I don't think
funny.
he did. I don't think he did intend
It is funny.
It's funny.
But he didn't intend for it to be funny.
It's funny.
He thought he was being sexy.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with that assessment, sir. It's like, it is really, really not. And in fact, it might be the actual opposite of sexy, whatever that is.
Big middle-aged guy in the pool talking to Asian model.
Wait, did he have clothes on or no?
Yeah, he had clothes on. Yeah,
I can't remember. I blocked it out.
He had shorts and a fucking like Hawaiian shirt on. And
okay, so he was. So I didn't have to like see his chest.
No.
Okay.
And he's got this, I don't know, 21-year-old Asian American model in a bikini, and he's going, "Come on in, babe."
And she's really giving off some like, "Where's my paycheck?" energy.
Yeah, exactly. You can tell. It's like, come dive into an Asian experience, you know.
And she's like, "Ew, really?"
You can see the ad on YouTube. Asian experience commercial. It's fucking hilarious. And it
we're such dicks.
Had he just gone with that, he might have been able to revive his career. Had his movies just been like that, it had been fun.
See, that's what I mean. I think there's a lot to be said for just being genuine.
Who you are.
I think the problem...
He was a creep.
Well, yeah.
He's a creep.
I mean, don't be genuine if you're a creep. I mean, get some fucking help or go to jail
he
or something.
was a creep, man. But he was genuinely being a creep in that, and I thought it was fucking hilarious.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a creep, then don't be genuine. That doesn't apply. But I'm just saying that I think his main problem, just like Glenn Danzig's problem, is that even if you're talented, even if you can do some cool shit, it's like you're always trying to have to like make yourself seem like more than you are, and you're always kind of like, and like I said, you can't laugh at yourself. You're not like self-deprecating. You're not honest about your motivations. You're not honest about like what real shit is, and people don't really like that. I mean, that will make people really not want to like not like you.
I saw Glenn Danzig live. This must have been in 95, 94. He was great, fucking fantastic. Saw him at Venus de Milo. It's either Venus de Milo or Axis down in fucking Boston. Fucking great show. Glenn could deliver. It's just I kind of have a feeling that, you know, he had humble beginnings, and he became very popular and very big very rapidly. And I don't really I don't know. I think it kind of went to his head, you know, where you're in the limelight all of a sudden, but you don't really have a history of being in the limelight. That's, you know, and some people say that fame destroys a lot of people pretty quickly.
Well, I can imagine that it would be pretty weird, like, even if you, like, I get it. Like, I mean, if, like, for some reason, like, this would be awesome if this happened. I'm not saying that, but I'm just like, just say tomorrow, like, somebody decided to option, like, one of my books or something like that, and they made a movie, and then I got super famous. It's like, it would be really, really weird. I don't think I would deal with it all that well, because I just don't really have that kind of, like, personality.
Rock star culture was different back then. It was taken as seriously, like a big deal, kind of like being a movie star. So I felt he had to live up to a certain image to keep the fans going. You know, that, you know, it was you know, that he had to do that instead of just being who he was, and because he did seem to be putting on an air.
Yeah.
You know, and you could get away with that back in the fucking days of the fucking 20-second sound bites and shit on TV, because you wouldn't get it very much airtime. They'd play your video and they'd give you 20 seconds on there, and that's it. And you could keep up an air.
Well, you could maintain a mystique at
that time.
Yeah, sure.
But no, not in the modern world. That was the same thing with Andrew Eldridge. The more you knew about Andrew Eldridge,
I was just thinking about him.
The more you knew about Andrew Eldridge, the less you liked him. You know, as the singer from...
I mean, he always came across...
Yeah.
Even when I just saw him... And I love Sisters of Mercy, okay? Mm-hmm. But even when I just saw him, like, interviewed on, like, 120 Minutes or something like that, even in, like, little 2 to 5 minute chunks, he comes across as insufferably douchey. Yeah. He is just very, very condescending.
Arrogant.
You can tell, that he obviously thinks he's 100 million times smarter than everyone else in the room, and he's just like, oh, well, this and that and the other thing. I'm just like, oh my God, shut up, I'm gonna punch you in the face right now. It's like, why don't you just, like, fucking sing and shut the hell up the rest of the time?
One of the most insufferable one is his interview in Germany, where he spends about an hour in a long form conversation with some German rock music kind of fucking dude, and it's all in subtitles, but it's just like he's just being insufferable and fucking.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen that.
German
because he speaks German.
Yeah, he's speaking in German.
Well, he lived in Berlin for quite a long time.
Right,
so.
he's just
and he speaks pretty fluent German.
Insufferable. I mean, he made Sting look fucking well grounded and humble. Yeah.
But I think that's why I really enjoyed, the Sisters of Mercy cover band that we saw like a few weeks ago, Temple of Mercy, because the guy who was the lead singer, I mean, they're a fantastic band. They were like really, really good. But the guy that was the lead singer, even though we talked to him afterward and he was just like a delightful, like normal person, but he definitely like on the stage, he definitely like gave off that Andrew Eldritch persona, like, and you could tell that he was like trying to do like an Andrew Eldritch kind of, and I really, really appreciate it. I'm like, oh my God, he's really, really bringing it.
Yeah.
Like he's acting just like Andrew Eldritch. I just thought it was so funny. And then it was like so funny because like afterward you talk to him and he's just like, hey, what's up? It's
Yeah,
like,
we didn't even talk about the music or anything. Invited him to come.
He's like, thanks, you guys, like, come for coming. He's like, why don't you come to Ibar after? And he's like, yeah, we might come. I don't think they did, but I think that...
the other girl did.
Yeah, the chick from, like, this other band, Obsidian, she showed up.
Yeah.
But, I don't think any of the Temple of Mercy guys did. But, yeah, it was, like, super fun. Somebody asked us if we did any LARPing.
No.
Not that I ever remember. I mean, maybe. But I don't think I ever have. Not that I'm against it. I just never... Fortune Down said, I'm still hanging on for the Steven Seagal range of fragrances. I don't think I want to smell anything that Steven Seagal would be putting out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't,
No.
You know, I don't really know. I don't really know. Mark says, just be a Tom Ross, cool dude, laid back attitude. I mean, like I said, don't.
I think it's the wrist.
Well, yeah, but it's probably you.
No, I'm not laid back.
You're not actually.
No.
You're not laid back at
No,
all.
I'm fucking.
I'm laid
I'm
back.
high strung.
But yeah, Tom is very high strung.
Yeah.
Tom is very high strung. Which is, it's funny. Like, maybe a lot of people don't. Like, I don't know. It's weird because in some ways you are laid back, but yeah, like in some ways, like you're super high strung.
I have hypervigilance.
Yeah. I'm a lot more laid back than you are.
Yeah.
And I've gotten, like, more so as, like, I've gotten older just because I'm just, like, I don't care anymore about anything. Which is kind of, like, the nice way to...
I have problems falling asleep. I have to have headphones on, noises and shit to keep... In total silence, my mind will just run.
Well, see, mine does that 24/7 anyway,
Yeah.
but to be honest with you, I have, like, the same problem, but also the opposite problem, because if I'm laying awake and there's noise on, then I'll just start thinking about that, and then that'll send me off, like, whatever noise is on, like, if it's a podcast or whatever, and then that'll send me off on all of these other, like, tendrils and I will never fall asleep.
Oh, when I go off on
so
those
I have
tendrils,
to have quiet.
When I go off on one of those little fucking tendrils, like you said, that's when I fall asleep. When I start
See, no,
thinking about
I
so
don't.
much-
Because it's like, if I laid there listening to a podcast, or
Yeah.
for example, then I would just start thinking about, I'm just like, oh, that guy's talking about that, and then that would remind me of something else, and that would remind me of something else, and then before I know it, it'd be 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, I just listen to scientists talk about cosmology, fucking, or, you know, fucking quantum physics and physics, talking about probability of fucking, like, SETI, you know, and fucking METI, which is, you know, search for extraterrestrial life type stuff. That'll relax me, and I'll start thinking about it, something that they said, and I'll start drifting off. That, or another one that gets me a lot is mythicism. I'm taught, you know, they're explaining stories of, like, Samson, and drawn parallels between Samson and Goliath, and these are that they're talking about. These are all stories of the Nephilim, which are demigods, and how this fucking corresponds with Greek mythology. You know, that they're what do you call it? The Canaanites were just copying what the Greeks were doing. It's the same pantheon, it's just different names. Well, I'll get off into that shit and be seeing it all happening and making a roadmap of it and going, oh yeah, and I'll be appreciating it, and I'll just fucking drift off into sleep.
Yeah, see, that kind of shit keeps me awake.
Oh no, it does that. It makes you feel calm. And then, kind of like, actually, I was just watching this video. Some guy was talking about the Stephen King Dark Tower universe, and he drew out a big old flow chart about how all those books were connected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's about 40 books. This includes the Tommy
that
Knockers.
bitch writes his ass off.
And they're all
nobody could ever accuse Stephen King of slacking. That's for sure.
And like Christine, and then in a Buick V8, that's all in the same universe.
From a Buick 8,
yeah, whatever it is.
Which is like the lesser Christine.
Yeah, that's all in the same universe. The only thing that he couldn't connect, he could connect the Stand into there and everything because Flag appears in other stories. It's the only thing he couldn't connect into this into the Stephen King universe was The Shining. He couldn't connect that in there. It's not mentioned. It's not connected.
Yeah, I can see that.
He couldn't it doesn't reference anything else. And none of the other books reference The Shining. It's just The Shining, and the sequel to The Shining,
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep, and then what was another one that doesn't seem to be tied to it because it had Straub in it was The Talisman.
Yeah.
Which I always thought
The Talisman and the Black House, because that was the sequel.
To the sequel to it?
To The Talisman.
Okay, yeah. Those seem to be in their own universes, but there's no proof. It's just that there's nothing.
What about
Eyes
of the Dragon?
I didn't see. No, I don't think that was mentioned.
That was almost kind of like an old school like fantasy.
He drew a big flow chart. It looked good. He had a big flow chart in the video of what year it came out.
Man, I love geeky shit like that.
Of what year it came out and how they're connected, where they connect at. The stories had to refer to one another, but But the ones I mentioned weren't in that flow chart. Although I think they were. I think it's all the same universe. It's just there isn't any proof.
Send me a link to that. I'd be interested to see
I'll
that,
show it to
actually.
you. Yeah.
John Gora said, I remember listening to an NPR Sting interview years ago, and I was like, holy shit, his etiquette is impeccable. Yeah, I mean, Sting, he comes across as, like, slightly douchey, but he doesn't come across, like, anything as douchey as Seagal or Andrew Eldritch or even Bono, for Christ's sake. I mean, Sting is, like, on the douchey scale, he's pretty low down on the douchey scale. You know what I mean?
Depends on how you define douche. He's just... I wouldn't say he's douchey. He's just...
He's clearly figured some shit out.
He's very elevated. He is very self-elevated.
That's okay.
He's
I mean, I don't mind like a little bit of that.
He kind of comes across like he's a fucking an Indian guru or something. That he's cracked the. Okay, he's the kind of motherfucker that talks your wife into some tantric sex. Okay.
Sure.
He's gonna sit in the damn lotus position, and she's gonna fucking climb up and sit on his lingam, and it's gonna go up in her booty. All right. And he's just gonna stand there, like in the lotus position, and you're gonna and he's gonna get your woman to say some ohms, and then he's gonna pretend like nothing ever happened. Nothing happened. That it wasn't sex.
Well, see, so I think that's like less him being douchey and more that people are mad at him for being able to do that. So it's play a hate. It's play a hate.
Kind of, but it's. I don't think he's really like that though.
Probably not.
I think it's a game.
Probably not.
I think it's a game.
Although I'm gonna say right here, I actually quite enjoy. Well, I really like the Police, and I quite enjoy Sting as an actor. Mm-hmm. And I'm not so much talking about Dune because he was only in that for like 5 seconds, but I mean, I liked him in The Bride. I liked him in Brimstone and Treacle.
Yeah.
I liked him in Quadrophenia. I think he's a good actor. Jenny, I would like to hear your thoughts on What Have You Done to Solange. I'm pretty sure that I did a long-form review of that at some point. Might have been a few months back. I'd have to go look, but I'm pretty sure that... Because I know I just watched it recently. And if I watched it recently, then I probably reviewed it as well. Let's see. Danny Rowling said, just saw a cheesy, decent underground monster-style winter film called The Boogans from 1981. Ooh, I remember that one. With the chick from Prom Night who gets axed to death. Just saying, yeah.
Here it is. Understanding the Dark Tower Universe in 7 minutes.
Oh, it's only 7 minutes? Well, you don't play the whole thing.
Yeah, that's it. Understanding the Dark Tower Universe in 7 minutes.
Like I said, I watch like fucking Shining videos all day long. But
he's got a damn animated... Look, he's got an animated flow chart. It moves and it shows you where... I'll show you.
Yeah, okay.
He does a good job.
All right, that's cool.
See what I'm talking about? See how he's doing that?
Yeah, okay.
That's some classy shit.
That's some classy shit.
Yeah.
It's like I said, goddamn, I'll like sit there and watch conspiracy theory videos about The Shining all day long, so, you know. Zach says, a movie with Sting y'all might like is called Julia and Julia. It's a thriller with Kathleen Turner. It was the first movie shot on HD video back in the 80s. I think I remember that, actually. Although I had forgotten that Sting was in it, now that you mention it. John Smith said Misery could be argued is out of universe, but Paul Sheldon's books are mentioned in Library Policeman. Oh, Policeman. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I actually, Shudder just added a shit ton of Stephen King adaptations, including Misery, and I kind of want to rewatch it. Have we reviewed Misery? Like, have we done a retrospective on it or anything?
Know. Maybe. Probably.
I kind of feel like we have, but then I was like, wait, maybe we
I remember
didn't.
watching it with you.
Maybe we did.
So we probably did a thing on
I mean, they added Cat's Eye. I know we've done Cat's Eye because somebody sent us that. I know we've done Salem's Lot. And we did Needful Things. They added that one too, and we just did that one not too long ago. But
the best thing about King, besides him being fucking drunk all the time.
Well, he's not anymore.
Not
but
anymore.
He used to
But best thing about him is that he's coming out of the 1960s paranormal, parapsychological research that was going on in the universities. So he's not pulling these ideas out of his ass like some people would try to do today, or making up his own shit. He's rooting it in stuff that was actually in universities of the 60s. So he's being informed by what he thought were, credible sources, which I believe they are, or I believe that they were. I don't believe they were perfect, but having seen some of the shit that I saw later on, back in the 60s, the universities, the parapsychology was onto some stuff. The military continuing to fuck with it. I think it has something to do with quantum physics, really. I don't think it's paranormal. It's paranormal, but I don't think it's supernatural. It's just some aspect of physics that we don't fully understand yet. And because the stories were rooted in ideas that he believed in, he thought about them. And he made some good stories about it. And how would that impact reality if somebody could do this or that? It's in The Shining too. And he's kind of accurately describing what the effects of a fucking a person with paranormal abilities or talents, that's a big way to put it. What would life be like for them in extreme cases? And shit, man. Turned out that fucking when that poltergeist shit went down and some of those out-of-body experiences, I at least had kind of a baseline, something to help me understand what it was that happened to me. So I kind of liked it. I liked it for that. It's kind of like the MCU, but grounded in paranormal theory, or parapsychological theory. I thought it was good.
And I think that's kind of why his stuff, particularly in the 70s and 80s, resonated with a lot of people, because I remember when I was a kid, like in the 70s and 80s, I mean, it was very much in the zeitgeist, like all this kind of like parapsychological, like you had books by William Roll and all that kind of like In Search Of and all that kind of stuff. So it was very much kind of like in the culture at the time. So I kind of feel like there was a lot of that and people could sort of like relate to it.
Young people can't imagine it. People believe that to be real. Even skeptics. A lot of skeptics are like, you could have an out-of-body experience. Astral projection, something to it. Precognitions, something to it. Dreaming true, something to it. Fucking psychokinesis, there could be something to it. And there is something to that. Reports of it go way back thousands of years. It's even kind of interlaced itself into religions, especially Eastern religions. There's something to it. I've seen it. And it was kind of good to have a background in King or access to King. So when certain things happen, I was like, people have been talking about this for a long time, and he's bringing it up, I'm not crazy. It's that kind of shit, you know what I mean? I liked it. It was good. If you're young and you haven't read those books, you should. You should read all those books. He was fun, and could get you to imagine certain things and to consider certain things. That paranormal isn't as strange, or it's strange, but it's not impossible. Had a near-death experience and an out-of-body experience, and Poltergeist, which is RSPK, 1960s style Poltergeist, and it was fucking wild. Jenny's seen it. Not as good as it was when I was young, but the thing is, though, is it's not as fucking life-shattering as the books say. It's not as impressive as the books say. You see it and you go, oh, okay, it's that. When I was a kid, it freaked me out. Bad. freaked out Lois and Red and shit. But looking back on it, we didn't have a very good explanation of what was happening. So it was just the unknown. So it scared you. You know? You thought it might be demons or ghosts or something.
Well, if you've ever read any nonfiction that Stephen King has written, like his book, like Dance Macabre, he actually, I think I talked about this a little bit on my Scare Salon video about Shining versus Shining, was that one of the things, and I love Stephen King's stories, it's just that he has like a really good handle on what works in horror, but particularly in written horror. And he seems like a big advocate of ambiguity, of like not over explaining things and stuff like that. But I'm arguing that like every time like they give him like the reins of a movie project, then he just forgets everything.
Forgets what he knows about
that he knows about what works in horror.
Yeah. Some of them are good. Some
yeah, well, no, and I'm not talking about like other people that have made adaptations of his stuff, because some of those are good. I'm talking about like adaptations that he was directly involved in.
Okay.
Those tend to be not so great,
right?
But and it bothers me like to say that. And the thing about it too is that even though I'm like really into his older shit, like all of his like old novels are really good. I haven't read like a huge amount of his new ones because like the bitch will not stop writing, man. It's like what does he put out, like fucking 5 books a year? I don't know. It's a lot. So I've gotten like really behind, but I did read his 2014 book Revival because I'd found it in a secondhand bookshop, and that shit was fantastic. It was almost kind of like Something Wicked This Way Comes, a very Ray Bradbury.
Yeah. And
And I was just kind of like, man, I'm into this. That was like one of the best things that I like read recently.
Yeah. Younger people, they grew up with fucking the MCU, maybe a little bit of this Star Wars stuff, which I think new Star Wars sucks, but MCU, DC Universe, but X Generation and Boomers too. Our version of that would have been the Dark Tower or Stephen King's universe, and it was all based in parapsychology. It's good shit, and it's like, well, you know, I just liked it, and there's something about the time in which it came from, you know, but maybe that's just me.
Mike Barrett said only Stephen King books I've read are Salem's Lot and Carrie. Those are both really good ones.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite ones, The Shining is really good. Pet Sematary is probably my favorite. Like the movie adaptation was okay.
The Stand.
But the book was really good. Honestly, like a lot of his old shit, honestly, I really like his short stories. I think the man could write a fucking short story.
They're good, yeah.
A lot of his short stories are really good.
For the long stories, though, I liked The Stand. The Stand was really good. Christine was good.
Yeah, I loved Christine also.
Yeah. Thinner was good. Dark Half was good.
I liked even some of the one I liked even like Bag of Bones, which was like a ghost story.
I don't think I saw that one. I really liked all the Gunslinger stuff that I read, but I didn't read them all. I think I only read
Cujo. That was also that was good too.
I think I only read 3 of the Gunslinger books. They were really good. Gunslinger is kind of like happening in an alternate universe. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings, but involves fucking Clint Eastwood. Basically, it's Clint Eastwood in another universe, fighting robots and all kinds of weird shit, monsters, trying to get to this big tower at the center of this other universe that he's in. It's kind of a fantasy horror adventure. But I really liked a book that he did in conjunction with Peter Straub. It was called The Talisman. That was good.
Yeah.
They traded off writing. King would do one chapter and Straub would do another.
Because I like a lot of Peter Straub stuff too. I mean, Ghost Story is probably my favorite still, and some of his stuff is a little. I did a review of like one of his novellas called Mrs. God, which I wasn't a huge fan of. Well, I really liked the beginning of it. I just didn't like the way it went at the end. But there was that. Rose Madder was good. Yeah, I was gonna say Rose Madder was good. And Shawshank Redemption, the movie is excellent. But yeah, that was actually based on a short story. It's weird because like a lot of the really, really good adaptations, not all of them obviously, because Misery, Carrie, stuff like that, but a lot of the really good adaptations of his work were adaptations of short stories, like Stand By Me, which was an adaptation of The Body, which was a short story, and Shawshank Redemption, which was a short story, which was an amazing movie. But I was going to say Dolores Claiborne is really good too. Dolores Claiborne. And honestly, I had been wanting to rewatch that one too because I just saw that one come up on a streaming service for free too. And I was like, oh shit, I need to like rewatch that one as well. I really, really like that one. Honestly, I kind of feel like he did a lot of good like stuff with supernatural, paranormal stuff in his earlier days. But I think as he got older, the stuff that I tended to like more of his was stuff that was more grounded in reality, because I kind of felt like as he got older, it didn't, I don't know if it was just, if it was him or it was me or what it was, but it's like the stuff that I read that from, you know, from his later work, I kind of felt like it didn't, like it, I wasn't like suspending my disbelief in the same way that I had been. I kind of feel like the supernatural stuff that he wrote was like better in the old, like in the 70s and the 80s. Later on, I think his better stuff was more grounded in reality. Like I said, more like Dolores Claiborne or something like that, which was like, that was like real people. There wasn't any like supernatural or paranormal aspect to it. I don't know. But like I said, Revival kind of has a supernatural aspect to it, and I really like that, so. And I think Bethina said that she really liked Revival. Was that good? I couldn't believe. And it's like, I hadn't even, because like I said, I had kind of lost track of Stephen King a little bit because the bitch writes so much that it's like I said, I just can't keep up. And there's like a million zillion other like horror novels I have to read. It's like, I don't have time to read them all. So I just kind of came across like the hardback for like $6, like in the secondhand bookshop somewhere. And I was just kind of like, oh, I'd never even heard of this one. It came out in 2014. And I wasn't really expecting a lot, but it was really good. I mean, I really, really liked it a lot. Like I said, very, very Ray Bradbury, which nothing wrong with that because we all love Ray Bradbury. Dolores Claiborne and A River Wild is where great films with same actor, both of them David Stratham or something like that. Yeah, I mean, Dolores Claiborne I definitely want to watch again because I really, really liked that movie. Somebody said, Mike Barrett said it's just too big of a book for me to read. Which one is?
Well, who knows?
Well, I don't know because I got behind.
Yeah, you guys have to, if you guys make a statement, you have to let us know what it is you're talking about. We talked about a bunch of books, so we don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, he might be talking about...
Probably talking about The Stand.
And
Stand is pretty long.
yeah, it's a doorstop, that's for sure.
Oh, no, but Stand's awesome. You don't want
it to end. It is very good.
You don't want it to end.
It is very good, but it is very long. And I know some people don't. They're like, Jesus Christ, I don't have time to like read.
No, it's like a damn super. It's like a fucking. It's like 4 stories in one, and then 5 stories in one, and it's all happening at the same time, and then all the characters come together in a big climax. It's about the apocalypse, a pandemic in the apocalypse. It's fucking badass. It's kind of like on a part of. There's no zombies in it, but it's kind of like The Walking Dead, but without zombies. Just good people and bad people left. Those chose by Satan and those chose by God. It is literally the apocalypse. It's good.
John Smith said, King's TV version of The Shining is not so good. Yeah, I agree. I did a whole video about it on my other channel.
I'm gonna fight for it, though. I defend it.
I know you do.
I defend it.
I know you do.
Yeah.
It's worth getting just to listen to his commentary, just to hear him say 100 different ways. I like Kubrick as an artist, I just don't like the movie. Yeah.
The television...
Which is fine. Everybody has their own opinions. You don't have to like Kubrick's movie, but come on. It's a million times better
the television version
than the TV version.
The television version of The Stand is good. Somebody sent me a re-edited version, a modernized re-edited version that's been fucking reformatted for modern televisions and shit, because it looks really good and it's good to watch. So if you can't read The Stand...
I actually quite like it.
If you can't read The Stand, you can see the miniseries. It was a miniseries, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 3 nights.
3 nights. Yeah, I think so. You can get it on DVD, the new version, and it looks really good.
Pretty sure they just added that.
But the book's still a lot better and a lot more.
Well, that's 99.99% of the time. That is always true.
And it's a lot more detailed, and a bunch of shit happens in it that's pretty cool.
Because they can't cram all of the nuance and all the stuff that goes on in a book into a movie. Because a book you have essentially like unlimited time.
Yeah. Now the TV miniseries of The Shining, I'd like to see a reformatted version for DVD. It's probably pretty good. It didn't come across too well on television. Some of the special effects looked kind of corny, like the makeup and shit. But you could probably fix that. And
I mean, see, but that's one of the things that I didn't like about it. I was just kind of like, well, Kubrick's version, like and like I said, I talked about this. I did a whole video about this, but I was just kind of like, I didn't like that it's like, oh, let's make the ghosts like, look, we'll put monster makeup on them. It's like, in Kubrick's version, they just look like regular people, and I think that was like creepier.
Yeah, but the television version is very faithful to the book.
Right, but like I said,
Very faithful
what works in a book and what works in a movie are two completely different
But if you don't want to
things.
read the book and you want to...
Then that's closer.
Then that's a lot closer. And
I will give it that. It is much more faithful to the book.
And if you watch that television series, it informs you and explains a lot of the stuff that you see in Kubrick's movie. It just gives you the background of what it was you're seeing.
But that's why Kubrick's movie is better and scarier, because it doesn't explain it.
Yeah, kind of. It's good.
It doesn't explain
It's just only half the story. There's a bunch of other shit. Because a lot of the story is what the ghosts are doing and what they're saying in the other dimension, in the other universe, and what the Overlook is doing, and why it's trying to steal souls, shit like that. It's pretty good.
But see, the thing about it though is that you could probably, I mean,
it doesn't make Jack all that sympathetic either, from what I remember.
Well, I'm gonna say, and I think
Makes him
that
more of
was
a loser.
I kind of think that was like Stephen King's main bone of contention with Kubrick's version.
Yeah.
And somebody told me, like in the comments of the video that I made about it, said that Stephen King forgave Jack Torrance and Stanley Kubrick didn't. And I think that's a good way of putting it. But honestly, I don't think even in the book he was a little bit more sympathetic, but I didn't find him really all that sympathetic in the book either. So I don't think, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I don't think Kubrick's version of him was that wildly different from the one in the book.
The difference is in the book, he gives his life to save Danny.
He redeems himself at the end.
He gives his life to save Danny and the mother. He was able to resist the possession that had overcome him for long enough to kill himself so they could survive.
Yeah.
And he ends up destroying the Overlook.
Which, like I said, that's cool, and I like that. But I liked Kubrick's decision for the movie better because, to me, it made it scarier.
Yeah.
I think that was scarier.
Right.
I don't know. I just like that better. But, you know, like I said, I went into it. But I love the book, though. The book is awesome. But, like I said, book and movie, two different things. You can't, like, just take a book... Usually, I mean, depending on what the book is, obviously, but you can't just like take a book and like slap the thing like they're literally on the screen. It's not going to work out the same. It's two completely different mediums. It doesn't work out the same. Zach says the 70s movie of Carrie is what got me into filmmaking in the first place. Can't beat Brian De Palma for imagery, man. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the 1976 version of Carrie, that's a classic, and that's pretty faithful to the book too. Now that I'm thinking about it. I didn't even mind the remake. It's not great, but it wasn't terrible. But I mean...
The Sissy Spacek version.
The Sissy Spacek version is like way better.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about it too is that the remake had what's that chick's name? I
don't know.
Chloe Grace Moretz. And she is cute as a button. Now, I'm not saying that Sissy Spacek isn't cute as a button, because she is. But Sissy Spacek is
she's spooky
beautiful,
looking.
but she's kind of like weird looking.
She's spooky looking.
And so I think that worked a lot better, because I was like, I believed that people would pick on that girl.
Yeah.
I didn't believe that anybody would pick on Chloe Grace Moretz, because she's cute.
Sissy Spacek, kind of fucking skinny.
And like I said, Sissy Spacek is cute too, but I can totally believe that somebody would pick on her.
Skinny, gaunt, kind of Appalachian Mountains kind of.
Well, she's freckled and she has like kind of reddish hair, and it's like she's a little bit gawky and a little bit awkward. It's like it made a lot more sense to me.
She looked like a ghost, kind of ghostly looking.
I kind of feel like, and maybe this started, and because the Carrie remake I think came out in what, 2005, 2006, somewhere around there.
I don't know.
But I kind of feel like in the 90s and the 2000s. There was this big thing of, one, doing horror remakes, and two, we're going to do all these horror remakes, but we're going to put, like, the most gorgeous people imaginable in it. And it's just kind of like, depending on the context of the story, it just doesn't work. And especially in Carrie, because it's like, this is supposed to be, she's, like, at the bottom of the social barrel. Like, everybody picks on her.
But she was cute, though. It says so in the book.
Yeah, but like I said, but she's awkward and shy, and it's like, you have to have somebody that, they don't have to be ugly, but they have to be somebody that you would understand that other people would constantly pick on. You know what I mean?
She was as described in the book from what I remember.
Yeah.
She had a super religious mother that wouldn't let her go anywhere. She was kind of like gaunt and skinny, and somebody that was real pale because she couldn't go outside, and she was like a living ghost, and that's what Sissy Spacek looked like.
Yeah.
But she was cute.
Yeah.
And
she was really...
some people were trying to help her.
Yeah.
But she, unbeknownst to everybody else, she had fucking RSPK. She was fucking a poltergeist fucking focus. And her mom had fucking fucked her up so bad, she ended up fucking killing people with it.
Burn it all down.
Burning everything down.
I couldn't really blame her.
Right. And then...
people
and in the book, she dies. Okay.
Well, she died in the movie, too.
Yeah, but not in the second movie. In the second movie, remember that? They fucking let her live... And then she evidently moves on to have a fucking happy life. Terrible idea. The fucking whole idea of the book was that it was a tragedy. Okay?
Yeah.
She was an innocent person who was just caught in a bad situation, and she imploded and took everybody with her.
Yeah.
But they were kind of guilty because the whole fucking school had been fucking with her.
Yeah.
So she took everybody with her. And there's a warning. It was an anti-bullying message.
Yeah, quit picking on the girl.
People can retaliate. No matter what they look like, people can retaliate. Don't underestimate people's ability to retaliate on your ass.
Yeah, they might. You don't know, they might have fucking psychic powers. Like I said.
Well, yeah,
they'll smash your head in, or burn the whole fucking prom down and lock all your asses in there.
She had
make her mad enough.
She had a psychic talent. She could fucking. Not only was it psychokinesis, she had pyrokinesis too, didn't she? Couldn't she make something just burst into flames? Or did the fire just break out because she tore the building down?
Yeah, I think I don't think she started the fire with her mind. I think that was more of a fire starter thing.
Yeah, right. That was the what's her name?
Yeah, she basically just in the course of like everything falling apart, like in the gym, like a fire started, like with the microphone like shorting out or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I think that's what it was.
Or the lights fell or something.
Yeah, something like that. But you know what I mean.
Well, wasn't there some lanterns? When there's some lanterns,
See, I thought it was just like the stage lights and the microphone that like shorted out. I mean, it's been like probably a year or two.
They couldn't get out because of the fire, I think.
No, they couldn't get out because she
caved
in the doors, and they couldn't get out. I think.
Yeah, and it was kind of a misunderstanding. She thought everybody set her up, but it wasn't.
Well, some of them did set her up, but like innocent people died in there too.
She thought they were all after her.
See, well, that's the thing. It's like the one scene, like after the pig's blood falls on her head. Hopefully, I'm not like spoiling it for anybody. I know it came out. It came out a long time ago. So after the pig's blood falls on her head, and then she's like looking out, and everybody is laughing at her.
Yeah.
Now, do we know, was everybody actually laughing at her, or was that just her perception? We don't know. It looked like everybody was laughing, even like the people that had been nice to her previously.
The original is a classic, and it's real close to the book.
It is quite faithful. It is quite faithful.
And the dude that they picked to try to bring her out of a shell, I had the same name with it. His name is Tommy Ross.
Tommy Ross. Played by William Catt, the greatest American hair.
Frizzy hair.
With his big old hair. Yeah. You need a wig like that.
That's what I need. I got one.
Bitch look like Peter Frampton.
Yeah, like Peter Frampton.
Frampton comes alive.
That's right.
Tommy Ross comes alive.
He was a school heartthrob. And his girlfriend says, you're going to go out with Carrie for prom. He's like, really? You want me to go with her? Yeah. And he's like, well, okay. He's just kind of a dumb guy. Okay, whatever you say, baby. He liked her, but there wasn't anything romantic. I don't think. And he thought
he just did it because his girlfriend said, I feel really bad.
Right.
Because she was, really, Sue was the only redeemable. Well, no, Tommy Ross was okay too. Those two were like the only redeemable characters. Everybody else at the school was like a shitheel.
And Carrie thought he was in on it. Fucking, she kills him too.
Well, you can't blame her for thinking that.
Yeah.
I mean, it did kind of seem like everybody set her up, which, like I said, they did, but she just didn't know that like Sue and Tommy weren't in on it because everybody else was in on it. And Sue and Tommy didn't even know about it.
I like how they set up the relationship between her and her mom. It was like something out of Sybil. Remember the fucking book in the movie Sybil?
Yeah.
So it was like that. And I think King maybe used Sybil as a fucking template for how that.
Maybe. I can't even remember when that came out. Well, I mean, the book Carrie came out very early. So that was his first novel, was it not?
I don't know.
He had published a bunch of short stories prior, usually in porno mags.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that Carrie was his first novel.
What was great about King is that he didn't pull this shit out of his ass. whatever the parapsychology departments were talking about, UCLA or whatever, USC, he's going to go with that. Yeah, what if somebody could move things with their minds? What if somebody could? Because the Russians said it was happening. They had that girl that could move compasses and move things without being able to touch them, evidently. Never been debunked. Then there were rumors of pyrokinesis, and people were investigating pyrokinesis. Jenny covered some of that in that Poltergeist book that she wrote, Unseen Hand. The cases of a little black boy that could cause burn spots to appear on the wall through his frustration. And every house he was in, he burned it down. Remember that guy? The little kid?
Yeah.
Wonder what ever happened to him. That was back in the 60s, wasn't it? 50s?
I don't even think it was that long ago.
Wasn't that long ago?
I don't think it was.
And so parapsychology departments knew that. They said, well, if you can move a big object, you can move a little object. Well, you can agitate molecules fast enough, it'll get hot and it'll fucking spontaneously combust. Now, that's not happening with the spontaneous combustion people. That's not paranormal. That's just somebody burning very slowly, like a wick. I've seen it. They'll just take a damn pig and put it on a carpet and put a blanket over it, and with a lighter you can set that blanket on fire and it'll burn the fat on that pig and it'll make that blanket burn or the clothes burn like a wick. And
yeah, they've done that stuff
never...
like about spontaneous combustion.
Yeah, spontaneous human combustion is not true.
Yeah.
It's just that
we did a show about that a long time ago.
You got to be fat. That helps. All right? Because it's the fat burning.
Because that's what they
like a wick.
Make the candles.
And when you see it happening, the flames aren't any higher than like 4 or 5 inches tall. They're little bitty flames.
Yeah, you're just kind of
and it burns a little.
Slow roasting.
Slow roasting. And it'll burn it down to the bone, and it'll look like
it smells good in here.
And it looks like it got real hot, but it didn't get real hot. It just burned real low and slow for a long time because there wasn't enough oxygen in the room. It consumed a lot of it, so the flames can't get high, and it all just fucking burns out right there in that spot. And when you see it in time-lapse photos of a pig doing that, you go, oh, of course. Yeah, you recognize it. You're like, of course, that's what that is. But spontaneous combustion inside fucking pyrokinesis is totally different. That's when somebody uses psychokinesis to speed up and agitate molecules and something bursts into flames. Now, there's never been any reports that it's as good as what you'd see in the movie Firestarter. She wrote down the cases that were known. It just looks like burned spots that appear on a wall usually. It's like a brown spot getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and maybe a flame will come out of it, like the size of a flame that's coming out of a damn Zippo light or a Bic lighter maybe. And then it goes out. That's usually what it is. And they'll be everywhere. Sometimes it'll happen to clothes inside of a dresser drawer. And then the fire will grow, get pretty big. It's an interesting phenomenon.
Danny Rowling said, Tommyknockers deserves a remake, but the same can't be said for the Langoliers ever. Honestly,
Tommyknockers, that book wasn't any good. I didn't like it.
I didn't really like the book either. No. But, well, like I said, I'm not a big fan, and that's like no ding against King, I guess, but it's like I'm not really a big fan of like alien horror. Yeah. It's just not my thing.
Well, the aliens were the best part of that book, but it was just kind of a jumbled book. He's real high, and it's beating around the bush. It's not real direct.
I think I just read it like one time, like a long time ago. I remember liking the story, The Langoliers, but the movie was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
I remember it being terrible. John Gore said The Mist was cool. Yeah, that was Frank Darabont. And honestly, like the story's good, and even though the ending of the movie is different, I like what he did with the ending.
It's okay.
I like that he kind of went. Camp Guy said also Apt Pupil is a great Stephen King short story. Yeah, that's a really good one. They made a movie out of that one too with Sir Ian McKellen in it. I remember the movie being okay, but not as good as the story.
The problem with The Mist in the movie The Mist is that it had kind of a happy ending. That was fucking dumb. They should have never done that. Should have ended like the book. They got out of the supermarket, but they just drove off into a damn fog, and they saw these giant creatures. They were still in that dimension, and they didn't know where they were going. Which that's the ending you want. That way you can make more movies, because I'm sure he planned to fucking maybe write more books happening in that area. That'd have been a great series of books.
It was kind of Lovecraftian.
Yeah, like some out of Lovecraft.
Now, he wrote a couple of other Lovecraftian short stories, I feel like. I don't think he ever did any novels, like, in the Lovecraftian universe.
In that video I showed
But he did do a few short stories.
The Mist is in the same universe as the Dark Tower and a bunch of those other ones.
I can see that.
Because what's mentioned is several other dimensions that are all interconnected. And the Mist dimension is in that universe. Which, it's mentioned in other stories, but I haven't read them. That's a cool idea.
Camp Guy said, I think Shawshank and The Body are in the same collection of stories. Yeah, they might both be a Night Shift, which I have somewhere, but I can't. It's probably down there someplace, but I don't know. But yeah, but I think both of those stories are in there. Apt Pupil, I think, was in different seasons, which actually wasn't short stories. It was like 4 novellas. Gramthars is asking, what are 3 tenets of being a true goth? 3 tenets.
Oh, there is no such thing. I don't know. It's whether or not the goth people like you, whether or not you have the right look.
Are you into some cool music, or are you just faking it?
Even though a lot of goths don't listen to gothic music, and goths appropriate music. Okay,
that's true.
A lot of stuff we listen to doesn't come from the goth scene. It comes from other shit.
Well, like I said, and I think I brought this up before, but what's interesting is that people that aren't in the goth scene don't really know that much about our music, but we know a lot about everyone else's music.
Yeah.
Because goth people, or people that are really into the goth scene, tend to be very music centric. Yeah. And a lot of them don't just like goth industrial music. Yeah. They like a lot of other different kinds of music, too.
Yeah, something about who was the most evil man besides Hitler.
Well, who is the worst person who ever lived? It doesn't have to be a man. Who's the worst person who ever lived, minus Hitler? Yeah, we're taking him out of the equation.
But see, the thing is, though,
worst person that ever... God, there's a lot of competition in that area.
People tend to want to throw these world leaders into the fucking pile of being the worst people. When you look at the details of the fucking biggest mass murderers in history, if you actually look at that person on a personal level, there isn't much to those guys. This is institutional evil. Those guys are caught up into some bullshit, and they don't really understand the magnitude of fucking what they're doing because they don't actually physically see it themselves. They just hand out some orders. You know what I mean? So it's not so much that they're bad. It's more like that they're just kind of like sociopaths. They don't even think they're fully grasp the reality of a lot of shit that they do. It's their imagination. Who's a lot worse are people who are doing things physically on their own to other people, which would be serial killers. They're a lot worse.
I mean,
they're not doing the same amount of damage.
That's what I'm saying. You could argue
their characters are a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people mostly jump to world leaders just because, like I said, they're acting on a world stage, so they potentially
kill a lot of people.
Have a lot more impact on the world at large. Whereas a serial killer, as shitty as that is, I mean, might just kill
30 or 40,
20, 30, 40 people in one relatively small area of the globe.
A lot worse.
Of the globe, but I get it.
Characters are a lot worse.
I get it.
Those world leaders that are doing that shit. When you're dealing with somebody that might be slightly psychopathic or sociopathic, they're very detached from what they're doing. They're working in theories inside their head, and they think they're doing the right thing to help mankind or their people. So they just hand out these orders, and then it goes through the system, and the system's telling them how great they are, so they don't really have any damn impact. Like Mao was sure that he was a genius. Even though his people were fucking starving.
Well, he didn't have anybody that had the balls to tell him, what the fuck are you talking about,
they were fucking terrified of him. They were fucking terrified of him because
you are a crazy person.
He'd have you locked up and you died if they locked you up,
I kind of feel like people like that, to a large, not all of them, obviously, because some of them are just way the fuck delusional, whatever. But I kind of feel like people like that, I think deep down, they know that they're terrible, evil people. And I think that that's why they're just kind of anybody that says bad shit about me, I'm just going to put him in prison or I'm going to execute him or whatever, because you don't want to hear it. You know you're a terrible person.
I don't know.
You just don't want to hear it. You want everybody kissing your ass.
I think you're overestimating them. I think you're overestimating them, I think. I think most likely what it is they're just really banal. You're reading into them. There's not a lot to them. There wasn't much to any of those guys. Stalin, there wasn't much to him. They had a lot of power, but he was just a street thug. He was...
Well, a lot of them are.
He was just a bank robber who was assassinating people during the revolution. He ended up in a damn intelligence agency and realized that he could weasel his way to the top. But he thought he was doing good for Russia. He thought everybody else was just weak, weak.
Well, a lot of villains think they're doing good. That's why they're villains.
Yeah. So this whole thing about that deep down he knows he's a terrible person. No, I think Stalin thought he was great. That he was awesome.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying on an unconscious level, he might actually, and it's causing him to act out. I don't think that he knows that on any kind of like conscious level. I don't think that he knows that he's a terrible person. But he's acting on some unconscious shit.
Based on everything I'm seeing through Mao, Stalin, Hitler, those are the heavy hitters. In terms of just sheer numbers. Those dudes thought they were fucking God's gift. They thought everybody they killed deserved it. That they were all bad. That they had to go.
But how much of that was justification, though? Like after
other people were justifying it for them. They had
Well, yeah, but like I said,
they had sycophants all around.
But the reason that they had that was because they didn't want to hear it. They were just kind of like, I just want to hear it.
It wasn't just them. There was all this. There was a whole society of a bunch of rats and sycophants, and they're caught up into this mass movement, like a cult. You know?
Yeah.
Very much. They were cult leaders. All those three. They lived in an entourage that had kind of like cult roots that had. Okay, look. Here's a great example of the same kind of person who's not a world leader. David Miscavige. It's exactly the same way. David Miscavige doesn't think his shit stinks at all. And he could,
does he even poop?
No, that dude doesn't even poop. He could kill.
No, he doesn't even.
David Miscavige could kill millions of people, and he goes, "Well, they're wogs. They're SPs. We have to." And he'd sleep soundly, like it never even happened.
By the way, British people, that is what Scientologists call the rest of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I understand that's a British. That's a racist term.
It's a racist term in England. In England, but in
I don't know about nowadays, but
in Scientology, it means non-Scientologist.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of like mean.
But I think they used that nomenclature specifically because it was a racist slur.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't fucking tell you what Scientologists think, where their words come from. They probably don't know anything about England, all right, or what that means.
No, I think they do.
Do they? Okay.
I think they do.
They use it to mean.
I think they know exactly why they use that term.
They use it to mean non-Scientologist, and a non-Scientologist would be like the equivalent in Islam would be kind of like a what do they call it? A kafir, or a fucking a non-Muslim, a non-believer. What's another word they use for that?
An apostate?
No, an apostate, somebody who leaves the religion.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Somebody who was never in the religion, like a non-entity. What do they call it? It wouldn't even be a heretic. A heretic is somebody who's preaching heresy, a reverse fucking religious narrative. In Christianity, it would be heathen. Heathen. That's what it'd be in
infidel.
Infidel would be the word. Yeah, infidel
you.
or heathen. So no, David Miscavige, if he ever got world power and tried to institute Scientology,
let's try to not let that happen.
They would. The Scientologists would kill almost all of us.
Oh, I'm sure. I have absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah, and they would be.
I worked with the motherfuckers.
Right.
I would not put it past them.
And they would not see it as a crime. They would see it as a great thing, improving humanity, to get rid of all these bad people. These people are evil, and they got to go, because we're trying to clear the planet and save these fucking souls and go to the bridge of fucking no return. What was it? Fucking what do they call that?
The bridge to total.
The bridge to total freedom. And you can't have that with all these fucking non-Scientologists.
The bridge over the River Kwai. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can't have that with all these. So I like to use Scientology because it's more of a neutral term. People get all hyped up about communism and Nazism and all that shit because it's politics, and people are childish about politics. There's no difference between politics and religion. It's the same thing. But you can look at a religion cult like Scientology. If they got into power, we'd be dead. They would have no problem killing us, because they see it as improving the earth.
Like I said, I have no doubt about it.
Liberating the earth from evil is how they would see it. Right.
And you really got to watch anybody that has that kind of like mindset. Anybody that would kind of get into Scientology or anything. And I've talked about this before because I worked with the motherfuckers. I would not trust them as far as I could throw them, which is not very far.
So this projection of morality into them of like, well, they know they're bad people deep down. No, they don't. No, they are true believers.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying some of them might. Some of them might.
Maybe.
But the thing about it is that, I don't know, like I said, the world's a big place. So, everybody has kind of their own thing going on. Some people have a little bit more self-reflection than other people do. But I'm not saying that they consciously know that they're terrible people. I don't think they consciously know that. I think unconsciously somewhere that is a factor, and that is making them act out. But if you ask them to explain it, they wouldn't be able to explain it because it's not consciously.
They would explain it like this: well, I have to do these evil things. It's the only way to get rid of these fucking.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they would say consciously.
Right.
But like I'm saying, unconsciously, I think that might be coming from a place of self-loathing.
Well, that would be everybody, because everybody's kind of doing that.
Well, I mean, everyone's self-loathing, but a very, very small percentage of people actually have to, like...
I have to kill these piece of shit Nazis. The men, the women, and the children. It's the same fucking thing.
I mean, but the thing about... Look, everybody has some degree of self-loathing, okay? You do, I do, everyone does. But it's only, thankfully, it's only like a relatively small percentage that causes that person to be like, well, I'm going to kill every motherfucker because, for whatever reason that they use to justify it. I would never do that in a million years. I would die before I would fucking do that. It's just not in me. It's just not. But you can't say the same about it. Everybody's not like me, but you know what I mean. But that's kind of where I'm coming from with that. But I'm not saying they consciously realize, and that's why they're acting that way. I'm just saying that it's an unconscious thing that they're acting on, but they don't realize that they're acting on it because they're not really that self-reflective. Psychopaths, sociopaths, they tend to really not have a lot of, introspection or self-reflection. That's kind of one of their main problems, I feel like.
All I know is that some people have to go. Some people are threatening me, the people I care about, family members, the civilizations I like, and you can't reason with them, so they're going to have to go. But I'm not the only one that thinks like that. The ones that are trying to fucking kill me are thinking that. Having a job in the fucking Army infantry, you just become used to that. And then you start going like, well, I don't really care who's right and wrong. I just care about my point of view. We all going to die eventually anyway. We only live for a certain amount of time. Nature will sort it out. Imagine if somebody tries to come in here and fucking kill you and Pokey and this and that. I'm not going to reason it out.
Well, neither would I. Most people wouldn't.
You're going to die.
Most people wouldn't.
Right.
Because that's obviously somebody that is, even if they don't know you particularly, and they're just coming in here for whatever other reason. I mean, obviously that's justifiable. Well, I don't think anybody would argue.
They already have their reasons.
Right, but are those reasons legitimate?
In their minds, who knows? But in their minds, they probably think it is. Those people stole that wealth. I'm going to take it back from them. Yeah, they'll justify anything.
What wealth? I don't have any wealth.
Yeah, this wealth. This is more like debt. Fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt that I have to pay. Okay? But
you're welcome to
you're
it.
Dealing with people that are fucking will say anything to themselves to justify.
I kind of feel like if anybody did that, it would probably just be more like we're gonna steal some shit or we're gonna rape somebody situation.
Exactly.
It's not gonna be like any larger like grand scheme. No. There's not gonna be any bigger
what they tend to do is there's an us and them mentality. We deserve to take from them. That almost always. That's how they get up the courage to do it.
Yeah, I guess, but you know what I mean. There's like, Gramthars said there's a fad going around. I mean, I haven't heard about it, so it can't be that big of a fad. Yeah. But called No Poop July.
What?
Did five people on TikTok come up with that, and then like everybody's reporting on it like it's a big trend?
You just hold it in.
Where people intentionally avoid evacuating their bowels. Please don't do that.
Man, he's lying.
You're gonna get in big trouble. You're gonna get in big trouble. Well, the thing about it, that's the thing, and it's not just Instagram and TikTok. This has been going on since I can remember. There's always kind of like somebody will find like some stupid extreme thing. Yeah. Like on TikTok, like so, look at this idiot doing this, and then they find another idiot doing it, and then they're like, oh my god, it's a trend now. I'm like, oh, 2 people is a trend now. But like I said, they're just writing a story because they know people.
Sly showed up. What's up, Sly? Hadn't seen you in a while.
What's up, Sly? He said, love your blue hair, Jenny. Thank you. I liked the original blue wig I got so much that I bought this second one. This is a new one. This is the first time I've worn it. Yeah. Because the old one, I mean, I can still wear the old one, but I've worn it out so many times that I feel like it's kind of getting like a little bit janky looking. You know what I mean? Because they're only like $20 wigs, you know what I mean? You can only wear them several times before they start getting like sweaty and knotted.
Holy Parish of Doom sees it like I do. It says every atrocity throughout history has journals where the perpetrators kept what they wrote about and described it as an honorable struggle that they were engaged in. No different from the
it's very easy to do horrible shit when you dehumanize your enemies.
And they all do it, basically.
Well, because in a way, I know this is weird to say, but in a way, it kind of makes me feel better that people actually have to do that. Because if people could just, like, kill people without even, like, there's, like, yeah, they're humans, too. Who fucking cares? I'm going to kill them. Then that might be a little upsetting. But the fact that they actually have to strategically go to, oh, well, they're subhuman, or they're not, you know what I mean? They're not like me, or there's something like that. They have to, like, compartmentalize. They have to make that different than them, like, to do what they're doing to them. Like, they have to dehumanize them in some fashion. So that just goes to show, it's like, that's not like a natural, I don't know if I'd say it's not a natural proclivity, but I'm just saying natural. I'm just saying that
them to compartmentalize it.
I'm just saying that it's harder for them to do. It's harder for them to do, like, without coming up with all these justifications.
You can go back 2,000 years, and the Romans were fucking basically demonizing Thracians and fucking Gauls, okay, as barbarians, you know, fucking kind of subhuman savages. So they go in there and fucking slaughter and conquer them. 100 years later, they reverse all that propaganda that they were talking about. They don't even have people dressing up as Thracians or Gauls in the arena anymore, because now they're all honorable Roman citizens now. You know? So it's just the way it always has been. For the situation changes. They were in conflict with the neighbors. Probably the conflict was going both sides. They were probably both picking on each other because they're just normal human competition, you know, for land, wealth, resources. So they come into conflict, and both sides are demonizing each other. I'm sure the Gauls and the Thracians demonized the fucking Romans too. But then eventually peace comes after somebody wins a fight, you know, and the Gauls and the Thracians got absorbed by the empire. But then they just become Romans. They're running for office and shit. They got baths. They're wearing the same clothes, speaking the same language.
Well, it's kind of like a thing where
happened to our states here in the United States.
I was just gonna say I was kind of thinking about that earlier, because I was thinking about, you go back 100, 150 years, even in the United States, like Italians, Irish, stuff like that, were not even really seen as white people. Yeah,
and then now everybody's white. Slowly, Latinos are becoming white people. They're becoming the same.
Well, we're kind of seeing it happen in real time.
It's because they're all interbreeding with one another. They're all intermarrying.
Well, like I said, it was kind of like, it just happens. It's, it's very slow, but it does.
We go to the club, man, and fucking hang out with all our friends, and I gotta fucking pause sometimes and realize that fucking shit, half of them are at least half Latino. But we don't think like that. We don't look at people by their races, you know. But we're in Florida. This is a melting pot between basically the Irish and Central Americans.
Well, the thing about it, and I kind of feel like, Florida...
And they make some good-looking people when they marry. They fucking look great. You know, I got pictures of them. Fucking, you know, and it's just... But you don't think of it. To us, they just look like white people. What people, you know? Like, you don't think about, well, that person's half Italian. You just don't think like that.
I didn't even think like that back in the 70s.
You don't think
honestly, the first time that I remember this being a thing, this is like crazy. I was a kid, I think I was maybe 10 or 11, and somebody had given me this book. It was like some kind of like teen romance kind of thing or something like that, which wasn't usually my thing. I usually like mysteries or ghost stories or whatever. But I read it and it was pretty good. And this was probably like back in the late 70s or early 80s. Mm-hmm. And I was reading it, and the mother of the main character was like super racist and was like racist against Italians.
Yeah.
And I was like reading that book because I think the book was written in the 1950s.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
boy, those days have changed, huh?
Like, I didn't get it. Like, I was just kind of like, what, Italian? What?
Yeah.
Like that. It made no sense to me at all.
Ethnic groups, doesn't
it made no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened when I read like some old Judy Blume books. Like there's one called what the fuck was the name of that book? Starring Sally J. Friedman as herself. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like about it was about a Jewish girl, and she was kind of like the conflicts that she kind of came into like with her, more Christian like counterparts or whatever. And it was just kind of like, but she's just like a person. Like there really didn't seem like any difference. And I was just kind of like, I don't know, I didn't get it. Which is weird because not not gonna be mean, but like my grandpa was like super racist. Oh my goodness, so racist. And like, so I understood the concept of that, but it's just like I had never heard anybody like be racist against like other white people before. And it's like, so I just thought that was like super weird. Like I totally didn't get it.
Khan's talking about how sweet those morenas are. A morena is kind of like a brunette. Okay, it's kind of a light-skinned, dark-haired Latina type, Hispanic type woman. That's what he's talking about. And it was funny about Khan. Khan showed me a picture of his mom when his mom was young, and she is the spitting image of Laura.
Really?
Laura Ross looks just like her. When I saw the picture, and the post was near one of Laura's posts, and it said something about his mom, and it was
like, oh my God, our friend Laura is your mom?
No. I got confused. I think Khan was writing it in Spanish. Sometimes, because I just absorb Spanish like it was Portuguese and it's English. It all just comes together. And I got confused. I thought it was Laura talking about her mom. No, it was. Oh, okay. It was fucking Khan of Aztlan. His name's Jair. Jair was talking about his mom. I don't think Laura is old enough to be. Damn, they look the same. Yeah. And I showed Khan a picture of Laura, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it does look like my mom." And that's Tijuana, Mexico, and she was from Spain. Spain and where? And Poland. She was a mix of Spanish and Polish.
My stepmom's from Poland.
Yeah.
Sebastian saying, we were talking about how Scientologists call non-Scientologists wogs. And I was asking, is that still a racist term in the UK? Sebastian Moran says, yes, indeed. It is still a racist term here. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I mean, I knew it was, like, because last time I was in the UK was probably, like, 2009, and I remember it was still a racist term then, but yeah.
Yeah, Scientologists are just generic. They're kind of an unknowing people. They just repeat what other Scientologists say.
Well, they live in a bubble.
They're very much in a bubble. It's like a military-style bubble.
I worked with them. It's super weird.
And
they don't know anything that's going on, like, in the real world at all.
They use that term to basically just mean heathen, non-Scientologist.
But like in many cults, it's just kind of a way of that's the other.
Yeah, they denigrate because they think that anyone who is not a Scientologist is ignorant and barbaric and savage.
Which is hilarious because
they're dumb. Yeah, they're dumb.
They don't know shit about anything. Dumb. They don't know shit. And like I said, and I think the main thing, and a lot of things piss me off in this life, okay? But I think the main thing that pisses me off, probably more than anything else, is dumbass people that think they're smarter than everybody. Yeah. That makes me so angry. And I think because
there's a lot of that though.
Well, no, I know, like Dunning-Kruger syndrome. Yeah. That it's a thing, and oh my God, it makes me so mad because I'm just I worked with them a long time. I lived in Clearwater, and the fact that they're so ignorant, and yet they walk around like they know everything and they're better than everybody. I'm just like, do you guys really not? I'm like, oh my God, you guys are like fucking so clueless. It's not even funny.
I saw a study on that. That syndrome doesn't quite work, but it does kind of describe what's happening. But I saw a program on it, I can't remember what the video was, where they actually did the statistics and they did IQ tests. They noticed that people who have IQs of like between 105 and 115, maybe 120, around that time, are mostly have that effect you're talking about. They think everybody else is dumber than them. They think they're called midwits. That's the fucking real. They're smart enough to be trained like any other smart animal, but they don't have much introspection. And they think everybody's dumber than them. They think people that are smarter than them are dumber than them. But it's a certain personality type that falls within that IQ range. And
the problem,
they say they're not all like that. It's just a certain personality type that is within that IQ range. They don't have any introspection, no mind's eye either. They don't have any. When they think of things, there's no visual representation in their mind. In other words, there's no imagination, no ability to look inward at all. And they say that lower IQ people actually do better on a lot of tasks than those people.
I could see that.
Because they are overestimating their own intelligence a lot. And
that's what Dunning-Kruger is.
And then they underestimate everybody else's intelligence. Yeah. But here's one of the main attributes is that they are entirely fixated on titles and credentials. Like, they did a thing on YouTube where this girl thinks she's the smartest thing ever because she has a degree, and she's judging everybody else based on their degree, and she's trying to rank everybody else in the class who's the lowest, and she puts the military guy at the lowest, all right, because he was in the military. Turned out his IQ score was up towards the top. It was just right underneath the other dude who was like, fucking like 145 IQ. This dude was like a 135. But just because his title was ex-military, she thought that he must be dumb.
Well, see, the thing about it, and what they found with Dunning-Kruger syndrome, is that people who are kind of just smart enough, like you said, a midwit.
Yeah, midwit.
That are just kind of like smart enough to like know what's going on, but not all that smart. The thing about it is that people that are actually smart usually have some kind of like introspection and like self-deprecation, because if you're really smart, you understand how much you don't know.
Yeah, and that there's other kinds of intelligence.
And that's what I'm saying. So I kind of feel like I kind of judge intelligence by like how much do you understand that like there's so much that you don't know. So I kind of feel like that's kind of the cutoff. The problem with people that have Dunning-Kruger syndrome is that they're just smart enough to be like, hey, I'm really smart, but not smart enough to realize that there's a bunch of shit that they don't know. So they think that they know everything.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There are guys that are fucking heavily degreed. They can figure out a fucking super complex task. I mean, they're fucking smart. But they cannot predict how other people will behave under certain circumstances. They have no human engineering skills.
Well, everybody's good at different things.
Different things, right.
You know?
Right. And then they got dudes who are in the hood, totally illiterate. They have master game. That could fucking beat you at chess. That could think rings around you in practical means. Lie, cheat, steal, and win. And the dude can barely read. Or not read. But so charismatic and so good at hustling and figure out and being able to predict what a person would do. Their effective intelligence is very high. And here's the funny thing. You'd rather be around that dude than the fucking genius. You know what I mean? Than the so-called genius. I'd rather hang out with this dude.
Well, like I said, it's just kind of
the
like...
people skills, you know?
This is why I'm a big advocate of... I just, like, take people as they come. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like... I don't know, like... It doesn't really matter what your credentials are or what you look like or anything like that. Like, what are you like?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own shit going on. Everybody is, like, good at certain things and not good at other certain... Like, everybody's different. So it's just kind of like you kind of have to just take everybody as an individual. You can't generalize. You can't do anything. Like, I know it's harder, but you just can't do that because everybody... You don't know what you're getting into with that person. Every single person has a million different things going on, and you don't really know. John Smith said, in self-defense classes, they now teach women to think of an attacker as an it. This can be difficult as the person hurting them is most likely someone they know. Yeah, I mean, I get why they do that. Like, it probably makes it easier, particularly for women, I guess. Like, you know, because generally, I guess it's, like, kind of harder for, like, a woman to, like, hurt somebody that's not... But I don't think anybody would have a hard time, like, hurting somebody that was a stranger. But, yeah, that might kind of, like, shoot you in the ass. Because, I mean, the reality of it is... 80-90% of the time, the person hurting you is gonna be somebody you know, like a coworker or an ex-boyfriend or something like that. So I don't know if like teaching them to see that person as an it. They try to do
that same kind of bullshit in the newer army.
I mean, I can see why they're doing that. Like, it's not a bad idea. I'm just saying that they would probably have to like modify the stuff for like this situation.
Hold on, let me tell them something. The U.S. Army hasn't won a war in a long, long fucking time. It's because it was never really designed to. It was designed to make money for the military-industrial complex and make rich guys richer and keep us in these fucking foreign projects, money-making projects for a long time. At the expense of fucking basically poor Southern guys, okay? They're dying for it. But you'll give them little pieces of colored ribbon to wear on their shit to make them feel important. It's a fucking sad situation because when I joined, I thought I was helping America during the first Gulf War. Not really. The United States didn't really get anything out of that. Neither did we. And then it progressively got worse. I think it's coming to an end. I don't think people are going to allow the criminal cartels that run this fucking shit to continue these senseless bullshit, fucking up the whole Middle East over basically nothing, bunch of lies, empire of lies, really, what this is. They got us right on it. But what they were telling guys during my time is they were trying to fucking just foment lots of hatred into you. To hate the enemy, because to make it a lot easier on you, to kill this enemy in a combat arms environment. And that does work. It works. But you can only get guys to do that for so long. All right? Now what they're telling them to do is don't kill the enemy per se. You're doing this to protect the friend next to you. I think that's even worse. Because now you're lying to them. Because you've got them there in these other countries under false pretenses to begin with. You're shoving Western democracies down the throats of Middle Eastern people that don't want democracy. They want theocracy. That's their culture, and they've been that way for a long time. They look at our media, and everything on television and the porn and our society, and they fucking hate that. They do not want that at all. They want Islam. Hey, this is what they choose. Let them choose it. That's why we're losing. You cannot force our ways on other people. You're killing people to force our ways on other people. That's just the fucking line. We weren't there to bring democracy to those people. We were there to make money. Military contracts. So, you can't rationalize murder. Really. It's an animal thing. You're fighting. You're either defending or attacking. When you start all these high-minded lies, you're just making it worse, if you ask me. It's better to face the truth. Because if you're facing the truth, you won't do something that you can't live with. If you give them these lies, you'll be able to manipulate these dudes into, dudes like me, into doing shit that really doesn't benefit me or our people here in the United States. In the end, it came back to bite us in the ass. All right. You're going to be a multipolar world now because we've lost our mojo. Ran this shit into the ground. You guys are going to see. Russia and China are going to run this, and India. They got a future. I don't think we really do. Not in the way that we did. But that's what I'm saying. Tell yourself the truth. If you're a woman and dude's beating your ass, kill that. Defend yourself. If you got to kill him to save yourself, you face it. Do it. Don't let some dude kill you. You should think highly of yourself. But here's the thing. If you're in an abusive relationship like that, what are you doing there? You should have been gone.
Well, maybe there's reasons why they can't leave.
Need to get out of that.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah, need to get out of that. But I'm not letting anybody attack me. I'm seeing these guys, man. Dude jumps behind the counter with a fucking gun. An old man pulls out a knife and stabs that dude in the fucking throat, and then they fucking want to charge him with murder? Fuck no. If a dude's jumping over the counter at me and points a gun at me, I gotta assume he's trying to kill me. That's it. It's a fight to the death. So the whole fucking system is fucking unraveling. Because it just doesn't have any goddamn. It doesn't have any legitimacy. Too open to interpretation.
John Smith says, I wish I had 10% of the self-confidence that dumb people have. I've thought about that kind of thing lots of times.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would trade. I mean, I've got issues, but I don't know. I don't think I would I know that I'm not super self-confident. I'm always denigrating myself. I'm just kind of used to that. It's probably that fucking the horses have left the barn at this point because I'm too old. But I don't think when I think about it, I'm would I want to be? Yeah, but would I want to be different? I don't think I would. I don't really like people that are dumb or ignorant or whatever, but are overconfident or are proud of being dumb. I don't like those kind of people. So it's I don't really want to be like that. I wouldn't want to be like that.
That's an extreme explanation of what's happening. Here's a better way of looking at it. I read I think it came from War as I Knew It, what I'm getting ready to quote. General George Patton wrote a book called War as I Know It. And I think what I'm telling you about came from that book. It's been a long time since I've read the book. World War II was one of the greatest, from the American point of view, was one of the greatest fucking programs of socialism ever. They took all these dudes into the military and fucking IQ tested them, did job placement. Their fucking HR was badass. And then they kept track of all these guys through their military careers, and then hired people to come in and do studies on the military men of World War II to try to figure out how to make a better army in the future. And one of the things that they noticed is that in battlefield commanders, as their IQs passed about 135 or 140, their battle victories declined. What was best was between 110 and about 130 IQ. If their IQs were greater than that, they would start losing on the battlefield. And they tried to figure out why. And the reason why is
I know why.
They started to overthink themselves.
Yeah, duh.
Overthinking themselves. Right. They would see troops in the open doing something in formation, and they go, "Oh, that's got to be a trap."
The thing about thing about really intelligent people is that their brains immediately go to like the 50 million different things that could go wrong.
Right.
Like all of the contingencies. This could happen. That could happen. This could happen. This could, which is good.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
Over a certain time though, it's just it ends up like biting you in the ass.
Yeah. What they noticed was that you needed, for a battlefield commander, you had to have the IQ that was good enough to do organization,
but not so good that you were like
you were stepping on your dick. So when you saw troops in the open, you didn't go, "Oh, this has to be a trap," because who would put troops out in the open like that? No, we have to start doing a battle flank around them.
I understand.
No. The dudes that actually won was like, "There they are, attack!" Those guys fucking actually were they were in the open because they fucked up.
I said, I wouldn't want to be different because look, I am like a champion overthinker. Okay, I will think of like you give me a situation, I will give you 40 different ways that could go sideways, and I just I try not to step on my own dick. It does happen still, but I do tend to overthink everything. I try to, I've tried to like be better about it over the years, and I've kind of gotten over it a little bit. But so I do like understand that. But I can understand, like, in a military situation, that might not be the ideal way of looking at things. I mean, to an extent, yeah, that's probably good. It's like, because you can think of, like, bad shit, like the way shit could go wrong that maybe other people didn't think of. Up to a point, that's probably good. But after that point, it's probably just like, well, you're just getting in your own way. So, yeah, I can see that. But, yeah, I do notice that, like, people that, like I said, Dunning-Kruger syndrome. People that sometimes are not that bright seem like super, super confident. Sometimes it helps them, sometimes not so much. But like I said, I really wouldn't want to be, I don't know. I've thought about it. Would I want to be different than I am? Even though the way I am is a pain in the ass? Nah. I'm all right. I'm all right the way I am. I don't want to be different. So Bethina said, in the cult I grew up in, worldly was the name for non-believers. Yeah, I've heard that terminology before. And like I said, that's kind of like an okay term because it's not inherently denigrating. I mean, you're just talking about of the world. That's not really that insulting, so I'm not insulted. I'd be more insulted by somebody calling me a wog, like the fucking Scientologists do. Because that's, like I said, that's a racist term, and I'm pretty sure they knew that when they coined it. Pretty sure. Tom has given them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not. I'm pretty sure they knew that was a racist term. Because it was pretty well known. I knew it was a racist term, and I'm not even from the UK. So, I'm just saying. I think they knew. But, maybe they thought they'd get away with it. It was, well, it's not a racist term in the United States. Although it might have been at some point in history. Gramthars says, do some goths look at mundanes like Scientologists look at non-theans? That's a funny question. Sometimes. Well, like I said, it depends. We've kind of got into this before where it's like, look, if you just look like a normal ass person, I'm not right out the gate gonna judge you. I mean, I'm just kind of like, hey, you're just doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, it's all good. The only time that I kind of get like judgy about it is if you're being a douche about it, or if you're trying to like draw attention to the fact that, you know, and I feel like nowadays we get that a lot, like at mannequins, because like I said, you get a lot of like people wandering in, and you kind of have a thing where people who, like I said, I don't have an issue at all like with people that come in like looking normal ass, but they just like, you know, drink at the bar and dance like a normal ass person. The problem arises when you come in looking like that, and then you come in acting an ass. Like you just come...
Or trying to get attention.
Or trying to get attention. I don't like people that like try to like go out of their way to get attention. I don't really like that. And it makes me... And it gives me great delight to ignore you with extreme prejudice. Because it's like, I know you want my attention, and I'm just like not going to get
Michael Shaver says, hey Tom, a good patent book is a genius for war. I haven't read that one. I just knew war as I knew it. I'll check out Genius for War. Yeah.
You must be way ahead of me because I feel like my chat stopped a while back.
Scroll.
No, duh, I know, but it's not scrolling.
It's not moving?
That's why I said that.
Okay.
I know how to scroll, but I'm just saying that it's not scrolling. So, I mean, we're still streaming, right? We're still streaming, right? I'm not.
Yeah, streaming here.
All right. It must be just the chat then. So just tell me if I like missed some stuff.
Yeah.
Gramthars asked, do some goths look at mundanes like Scientologists look at non-thetans? And I was like...
Kinda.
That's what I said, kinda. Well, like I said, it's not that we're inherently
Only in the context
judgmental.
Of the club, not out of the club, in the club.
Well, like, outside of the club, I don't even, like, notice people, because, like I said, normal people kind of, like, y'all look the same, so it's just kind of, like, it doesn't bother me. But, like, if you come in the club looking normal, I'll maybe glance at you and be like, yeah, whatever, but I won't think about it other than that. But now, if you start acting an ass and try to, like, draw attention to yourself, then, yeah, I'm going to notice, and, yeah, I'm going to start judging you then. But other than that, no. Other than that, like, I don't care. Dress how you want. You're not me, so... What if I dress how I want, you dress how you want? I don't give a shit.
John says, success by any metrics is a certain measurement of intelligence. That's right. If you can make a lot of money and become successful, there's some kind of an intelligence happening there. Even if it's just a physical intelligence, like you're an athlete, or a charismatic intelligence, like you're an entertainer. It's called genius of human engineering. You can get what you want by being a certain way, and people will reward you. The United States has a huge fucking celebrity culture. If you entertain people in some way, you're loved, and you get success. That in itself is a form of intelligence. Can't buy that intelligence.
Well, and I kind of like that nowadays people understand that there are many different kinds of intelligence. It's not just one kind.
Yeah.
Can I please, after all this time, we've been like going for more than 2 hours, is Murder Hornet still here, right?
Yeah.
So he sent me this, and I wanted to show it on the show.
Yeah.
I wanted to show it on the show. Look at this, you guys. Look how fucking cool that is. I just got it yesterday. Yeah, he sent me that in a box yesterday. That's epic. So I told him, I was like, I'm going to show it on the show because that's like fucking rad. But yeah, just wanted to show it because it's cool. It's like right here. I love that skirt. Yeah, I'm like way behind. I'm not getting like updates on the live chat.
You might want to refresh the chat.
Okay, there we go.
There it is, right.
There we go. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, I was way behind. Now I gotta catch up.
Yeah, sorry, I got an OCP shirt. OCP Communications. It says, the only choice. I'm selling these $20, any size you want.
I made that from the actual, you know, the OCP ad that was in RoboCop?
Yeah.
I did a screenshot of that and traced it in Illustrator. So it looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
It looks exactly
size of your choice. I can ship it out in a couple days, probably.
Man,
$20.
Oh, man, Mark sent us another $10.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Didn't see that.
He's wrecked.
I didn't see that.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like way behind. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm way behind. So sorry about that. I got my chat got stuck.
Yeah.
My chat got stuck.
No, OCP, not OPP.
Yeah, that's what
OCP was.
I don't know why I always said like. Are you down with OPP? Yeah.
Omni Consumer Products. That's from RoboCop.
Yeah.
That was the company that made the damn ED-209 and the fucking RoboCop himself. It was the Omni Consumer Products. The corporation so big it made everything. Omni Consumer Products. It makes every fucking thing. I don't know if it made the cars though, did it? No, I don't think. I think the cars were made by somebody else.
Let's see. John Gora said you can always dumb yourself down. Nah.
That's hard.
Nah.
Hard to dumb yourself down.
I mean, I'd rather
You are
just,
what you are.
I'd rather just be me.
Yeah.
It's much easier, and I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy to like make all that fucking effort. Come on. Like either take me as you find me or fuck off. that's kind of how I've gotten to a point at this. You know, I'm old, so I don't have the patience for that kind of shit anymore. Pretending to be something I'm not. Agnes Lamb said, "I like you, Jenny."
Besides, we work
Thank
from
you.
home. We don't need to fucking do anything.
That's what I mean.
We work for ourselves.
I can do whatever the hell I want.
We're free now.
I mean, we're broke, but we're still free.
Got to mow my own fucking lawn, a ride-on mower with headlights
hey, you got
on
a
it.
ride-on mower with
headlights.
with a drink
thing.
cup thing in on it.
Yeah.
And you can drink if you can mow the lawn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, it hasn't happened yet. You were sober the first time, but you've not been sober. Man, we told the story, didn't we, about last Saturday?
I don't remember what happened last Saturday.
Yeah, no shit you don't.
Oh, yeah.
No shit you don't. I told him the next day because I was sober.
Yeah. Bunch of shit happened that night. And
maybe we need to reiterate. Maybe some people were not here. Maybe people were not here.
I come back from the club.
We went to Barbarella on Saturday night, which is like the 80s new wave, which is honestly my favorite night. I really do like the 80s new wave night. It's a good crowd. It's good music. It's fun. You know, it's fun. So I go there. The new Barbarella location, they don't have, he has a liquor license, but he doesn't have, what is it? He has a liquor license because he ran the shit downtown for like 35 years. But he can't run it until after a certain amount of time or whatever. So they only have the little canned, like White Claw type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they only have that.
Yeah, they're weak as shit.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. They're like 5% alcohol. Yeah. So honestly, we got there right when they opened. We were like the first people there, I think. And so I had one drink at 9:30. I had one drink at 10:30, and then I just drank water the rest of the night. We didn't leave till like 1:30 or 2 in the middle of the night. So I was completely sober. Tom drank. I lost track of how much you drank.
I was slamming them.
You were. I have not seen him that drunk in a very, very, very long time. And it wasn't even a hard liquor. It was just kind of like canned mojitos and beer.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And shit like that. And holy crap.
Because the shit was so weak, I was slamming it.
That he just kept on.
I wasn't really respecting it. I'd just get a mojito and I'd just fucking chug it. And I'd go get another one. And because it was so tasty. And I'm like, man, this shit's so fucking weak.
See, you gotta watch that shit.
I got slammed by that shit. And then a bunch of fucking weird shit happened, man. They were having fun that night.
Oh, a bunch of weird shit happened.
First thing that happened after I'm starting to get slammed, my buddy Scott shows up with a trans female date.
Scott was just here.
Yeah, Scott was fucking rolling. Scott's a heavy set older dude who's got all this fucking money.
Well, he's your age.
Yeah, he's
or
my age.
A year or two younger.
Yeah, he's younger than me, but he doesn't look. All right. Anyway, he shows up with a trans female girl.
Ashley.
She's like 23.
Yeah, she was very young.
Yeah.
She seemed cool. She's a little weird, cool, but she was
and
cool.
She's kind of like on the clock, like she's working for him. You know what I mean? So I won't call her an escort, but she was just being like a fucking professional valet and shit. She starts flirting with me, and fucking Scott is fucking getting jealous and whatever. And man, fuck all this shit. I go to the fucking restroom, and she follows me in there and fucking tries to fucking throw down. And says, "Look, I got a girlfriend." She goes, "I know, I love her. I'm gonna fuck her too."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
she was. Like,
she was funny though.
She was trying to get me involved in witchcraft.
Yeah, trying to get her to always. I said, "No."
She wanted to do some witchcraft.
You come out here. And she said, "You want me to hold that?" And I says, "No, I got it. I got it. I'll show her to you. I'll show her to you."
I mean, we did that, but don't fuck up the camera because you made it go all dark before.
Oh shit! On
a Wednesday, so don't do it.
It's not on his phone.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just use your imagination.
Wait a minute. I think I sent a photograph to I got.
But yeah, so all that kind of stuff goes on. All that kind of stuff goes on.
And then, hold on. Because Scott sent me some photographs of her, so fuck. Come on. Let's close that.
How long is this going to take?
No, just talk.
Should I
talk,
go, should I go to the
talking.
Ow, you kicked me.
Sorry.
Should I go to the bathroom? Or?
Yeah, go ahead and go.
while you're looking for stuff. Don't make my camera go dark.
Okay, I won't make it go. I won't make it go. She back a second. So the fucking the Ashley angle went on for a while. That shit was fucking hilarious. I was getting kind of fucking discombobulated. I was fucking drinking my ass off. And okay, where is it? See, the thing is, I got a new tablet, and I put my SIM card in the new tablet. My new tablet's little, and the little tablet. Shit. I'm trying to see. The little tablet has all my photographs in it. I sent a picture to Keith, or his name on. Hold on, we're taking pictures of the pictures. And then I sent Keith a fucking. I'm sorry, I've been drinking, so I'm getting kind of fucking out of order here in a bit. Okay. You guys are gonna fucking. What the fuck?
Ooh, that's better.
Pissed me off.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I found it, and so I found it, and I pressed the button, and it went to the bottom of the page.
Oh my goodness, you're having all kind of problems.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking crazy.
What did you say?
Here it is.
What did you say? I couldn't hear it.
Here it is.
What did you say? I couldn't hear it. Yeah, that's.
So that's Ashley. All right. So Ashley was super passable. It took me a while to realize that was trans female.
I mean,
I've been drinking though.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have thought about it. I didn't. Well, I don't. Like I said, I don't think about it.
I didn't realize.
I didn't really think about it until you said something about it. I was like, okay, I was like, whatever.
I was like, she's trans.
Looked like a girl to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it. Like I said, I don't know. Like I don't think about that kind of shit. That's maybe that's you. I don't know. That's what I don't think about.
Well, it's kind of.
I'm just kind of like, hey, it's a person. It's not really. I'm not fucking that person. So it's like, why the hell?
She was trying to hit, man. She was trying to fucking hit.
Yeah, clearly. Well, like,
she was trying to get fucking.
Tom was like super fucked up.
Yeah, she was trying to get us in a
and
sandwich.
she was kind of. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know, but it's like
because she's like, I'm bisexual. That's what she said.
All right, fair enough.
So she's like,
but it's like, yeah, she kept coming up and she was talking to me. Like I said, mostly she was trying to get me involved in witchcraft, right?
She's trying to get your boobs. She said your boobs.
Well, that too.
She said your boobs are gorgeous. She's like, she was jealous of your boobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was that whole thing.
Yeah.
So then, like I said, I was sober. Now I was dancing my ass off. I had a good time. The music was pretty good and stuff like that. Later on, like Tom is completely fucked up.
You're right.
More fucked up than I'd seen in a while.
Yeah.
So he goes up to cash out.
Right.
And he didn't even know what the fuck was going on. So I kind of had to tell the bartender. He forgot he did it. I had to tell him the next day, no, it was fine. I told you, that you gave him like whatever tip or whatever. And he says to me, he's like, that Ashley girl was sucking my dick. And I was just like, what?
What she was trying to.
He's like, just in the bathroom. I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah. So then we leave.
She's like reaching down. I was like, no. Getting on her knees. No, come on. No.
I was just like, okay, what the fuck went on in there? I don't know. Like I said, I was dancing.
I was weak, man. Fucking, I couldn't fight it off. And I was trying to be polite, you know what I mean? Fucking, she was cool, though. She was cool, just,
Yeah, she was a little bit weird, but she was
like,
cool,
I got a girlfriend. I can't do this. She's like, I'm going to fuck her, too. And I was like, oh, man.
She's good. She knew you were vulnerable. She was taking advantage.
Yeah, you know what she said? She said, you're not trying to tell me I got to go through proper channels. And I says, yeah, you got to go through proper channels. And he's like, I'm going to talk to her.
She never did.
That shit was fucking funny, man. Think about how funny that is.
It is very
That's just fucking funny. Don't tell me I have to go through proper
That's like
channels.
some regular shit that happens at iBars.
It's just nice.
I mean, pretty much every Saturday you go, some shit like that's going to happen.
Yeah, don't tell me I have to
It's just like some shit like that's going to happen, or Dr. Michael is going to like lick your nipples or something. It's going to be something like that.
Don't tell
every
me
single
I got to
time.
go through proper channels. I said, yeah. She's okay. I'm gonna talk to her.
Yeah, she never did though.
No, okay.
She never did.
She was fucking.
I don't think she talked to me after that.
She was fucking with me. No, it's because that's because fucking Scott grabbed her and drug her out of there.
Oh, okay.
Because he was getting jealous.
Oh.
Because she was gonna fucking.
I wasn't really watching what was going on.
She was gonna split with us.
I wasn't really watching what was going on because, like I said, he was playing some good shit. So I was just kind of like, so I was just dancing.
I was like, whatever.
And so I was like, whatever. And then, like, I just thought it was funny that, like, you were checking out and you were, like, really, really hammered.
I was fucking hammered.
She was trying to suck my dick in the bathroom. And I was just kind of like, all right. And then, like...
And I told you, I said, she's trying to fuck you.
Well, I got that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
You know,
She
that
said she loves
pretty
you.
Obvious. That was pretty
She loves
obvious.
you.
That was pretty obvious.
Yeah, she was talking about your boobs and shit.
She was all...
She
I
has
mean, even
great
when she
boobs.
was, like, talking to me, she's like, we're going to do, like, some Wiccan spells. And I'm just like, yeah, cool.
okay,
Because, like I said, I was sober. So I was just kind of like, awesome. Whatever.
She was like, her boobs are great.
So it was that kind of situation. And then, like, so we leave, and Tom is just like I said, he's like super drunk. He kept telling me how much Ashley loved me. Like, he told me like 20 times.
Yes,
and he kept like yelling it in my face, and like I was like, dude, I know you already told me.
When I get drunk, I'll repeat myself.
Yeah,
I'll forget
I know
that I said it.
I know. I was like, you know, you already told me that, right?
I was fucking loaded.
And he was like yelling, it's like, blah, 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 and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we leave the club, and Sophie, our friend
And I
Sophie,
forgot if I checked out or not.
I watched you.
Yeah, I was like
I said,
I called him later.
I was sober.
I called my bartender
He called
later.
the bartender.
And I said, dude, did I pay you?
I told you did.
Yeah,
I was standing right
he goes,
there.
Yeah, you paid me. This is, did I tip you? And he's like,
Yeah, I watched you.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched you.
I didn't even remember.
I even said, I was like, hey, do you need my glasses? And you were like, nah.
I didn't even remember paying. This was the next morning. I didn't even remember paying. I don't remember.
And you didn't remember either because Sophie was like, please don't let him drive. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to. But then he's like, no, I'm going to drive. And I was just like, oh, shit, we're going to die. So he gets in the car and he backs into another car. Like I said, the car was fine. Like, our car wasn't fucked up. Their car wasn't fucked up.
Yeah, not hard. I just... Boom.
Yeah, he just kind of went. And I was like, dude, you just backed into another car.
And I was like, what the fuck that doing back there? I didn't see it.
And I was like, yeah, no shit, you didn't see it. And then, like, he drives out of the parking lot and, like, goes, like, a block. And then I was like... Pull over right now. Pull over right now.
It was normally I can drive.
Well, I made you sit in the car for a little while.
Yeah.
But
normally I can drive. This was an exceptional moment. She was like, I gotta take over.
I was like, yeah, no. Well, I didn't really want to drive because I was like, man, I gotta take my shoes off and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was sober, but you know, it's like I can't drive in these fucking boots. So we had to pull over to the parking lot. I had to take my shoes off and I drive in my bare feet. And the whole time, I think I said this before, but because I was like, well, I don't remember how to get home exactly because it's like all these toll roads. And so he has my phone because he doesn't have a phone. So I had my phone and he had my GPS on and he kept like reading it out to me like, it's 5.4 miles. I'm like, okay, thank you. I get it. 5.3 miles. I'm like, okay, I get it. It's like he just kept like saying
I was navigating.
Every point. However, he kept telling me.
See, now she's fucking.
I'm like, she'll tell me when it's time to turn. I was like, please just calm down.
I was having a good time as a passenger, though. I didn't have to drive. I was sitting there and I've got the shit, I'm navigating. I was like fucking Sulu.
He was Sulu.
It was like Sulu on the fucking Star Trek Enterprise.
And then
We get home, okay? And I fall asleep. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up. Go ahead and tell what happened. Jenny tells it the best because she saw it from her point of view. I wasn't aware of it.
And like I said, I apologize because some of you may have already heard this story.
Right,
because I think we told it a couple times before, but on some of the other ones. But this is like the Sidetracks, so in case you weren't here and you didn't hear it.
Yeah, this is great.
So he wakes up. You'd only been asleep for like an hour because we didn't get home until maybe like 2:30 because we stopped at Circle K. And
I got a fucking McRibs microwave sandwich.
You got a burrito, yeah.
And I fucking toasted that shit up, fucking microwaved it. I had fucking barbecue sauce on it, man. When it was done, I didn't put pickles on it. I had some pickles down there. It was like right from fucking. It was better than McDonald's. And this shit came out of a plastic
Better than
bag.
McDonald's?
It was better than McDonald's. Yeah, I'm gonna hit that shit again, man.
Yeah, we don't have McDonald's on the way home from the club anymore.
No.
And now we just have to stop at Circle K and like pick through whatever
and they're
sandwiches
fucking
they got
they're eating up all the food by the time we get there.
Because I mean, to be fair to them,
weekend.
it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sure everybody's probably like eating the shit by now. But it's like, you know, every now and then they'll have like a Cuban sandwich or some shit left over, and I'll eat that. But you know what I mean? So he goes in and gets sandwiches. We come home. Like I said, I'm stone cold sober. So we come home, and it was like 3 o'clock. We ate the sandwiches. We go to sleep. And then maybe, I think it was an hour and a half later, because I think it was about 4:30-ish. Mm-hmm. So we'd only been asleep for like an hour and a half. And I wake up. I didn't hear anything. I think it was like some kind of spidey sense. And I wake up and I turn over, because I was kind of like facing the opposite side of the room. And I turn over and I see Tom standing at the end of the bed, like facing the little bench that's at the end of the bed. And he was just standing there. And it was really creepy.
Yeah, I was standing at the edge of the bed.
I was like I said, this is like the chick from Paranormal Activity. Yeah. It was like that. So he was just like standing there, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he says, pissing.
I'm pissing.
And I was like, are you for real, like peeing on the floor? Are you peeing on the floor? I said.
Yeah.
I was like, really upset. Yeah. I thought he was peeing on the floor or like on the bench at the end of which is covered with like which is covered with like this velvety kind of
material. Yeah. It's not a bench. What do you got? It's like a little box that you can sit on.
You can sit on it, but you can open it up and you can put stuff in it.
So I was standing right there and fucking dick in my hand. Should we do it? It's dark in there, and I said, I'm pissing. But I didn't remember that.
Yeah, that's what you said. You said, I'm pissing.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you peeing on the floor?
Yeah, and when she said that, I woke up.
Because I didn't know. It was dark. I couldn't see what you were doing.
What the fuck am I doing here?
I was like, yeah, that's what I was just wondering.
And I was like, man, I must have pissed on the fucking floor, this and that, and I'm fucking reaching down and I pulled that thing out. I pulled it out of the fucking room.
Yeah.
And I was reaching down, fucking trying to touch and see where I pissed. I never could find it. And then I went to the bathroom and then got in bed. I said, if I pissed, then I'll fucking clean it up tomorrow. And then when I woke up, there wasn't any piss. I was dreaming.
Yeah, you were dreaming.
I was dreaming and sleepwalking that I was pissing.
Which I've never seen you do that before.
You see, I thought I was pissing in the bathroom. I thought I was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I was dreaming that I was in the bathroom pissing. But I couldn't. I wasn't pissing though. I couldn't piss.
Thank Christ.
Yeah. I couldn't piss. I was rocked up. Couldn't piss but no, it was just
your
dreaming.
Dick was smarter than you were.
Yeah. Well, there's like a safety mechanism.
It's a safety mechanism.
Yeah. Safety mechanism. But no, I couldn't. It was weird, man. I thought I was in the bathroom.
It was very weird.
I thought I was in the bathroom peeing, but I wasn't. I was standing there. And there's no telling how long I was standing there. I think I was standing there a long time.
You might have been.
Because I kind of vaguely remember little dreams and shit happening and dreams, and then me in the bathroom taking a leak because I had to take a leak. But no, I never did piss. I was just standing there. It's weird.
Michael Schaefer said, I've been that drunk before too, Tom. I mean, I think we all have. I've been drunk enough that I didn't
sleepwalking.
That I didn't remember anything, I don't think I've ever been drunk enough that I didn't remember anything from the night before. But I've been drunk enough that I remembered like probably very little of what happened the night before. I've never sleptwalked though.
Yeah, I was drunk and sleepwalking.
Never had that happen. Because normally what'll happen, like I said, if I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, usually I'll start dreaming that I'm going to the bathroom, but the bathroom that I find in my dream is always like too gross to use. So that's like my brain like waking me up. That's how that happens. So usually I'll be like, oh shit, I gotta get up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, they're saying too much testosterone in me, fucking looking at the fucking trannies and transvestites. Yeah, it's fucking funny, man. There is some weird shit about that. Fucking, I've heard that is a weird thing I've been hearing from other fucking guys that
Tom's having all kind of
is that all of a sudden men look like women to you because you fucking when they stand next to you they're nowhere near a man as you.
Well, the thing about it though is that, like I said, Ashley,
you couldn't tell that was a dude.
Like I said, it didn't occur to me.
I ain't gonna say dude, and people get offended, but
it didn't occur to me.
She didn't look like she was trans.
It didn't occur to me that she was trans. Like, well, like I said, I don't think about that kind of stuff. Like, you introduce me to somebody, I'm just kind of like, okay, you're you. I don't really like.
Yeah.
I don't really get hung up about what, like what's going on with this person. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, okay, well, you are what you appear to be. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I don't really think about it.
Says in all her photos, she hides her. No, she didn't have Adam's apple. And so they're saying like, well, she was that easy. She must have been carrying diseases or something. No, what it was, I got the lowdown on it later. From Scott.
See, that's what I was asking you because you didn't tell me all this shit like at the club.
She's married to a girl, and they got a kid together. Yeah, and they're breaking up, basically, and fucking, you know what I mean. And that was kind of the deal. So Ashley's trying to fucking, started a new life, if that's what you want to put it. But she's been married and hemmed up for a while, so fucking Scott got her off of fucking some dating site. And,
trying to make some money.
Yeah.
Can't begrudge people trying to make money.
She's probably trying to make some money, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Scott will pay gratuity and shit. Fucking, you know.
Well, he's got money.
Yeah, he's got money. Scott owns a fucking bar down here. Drives around in a Jaguar and shit. Fucking, I'm helping him out with HRT and stuff. Hooked him up with the right people.
Yeah, he came over yesterday.
Yeah, so he's on HRT trying to lose a bunch of weight because he plays tennis and shit. And he's got a girlfriend, but his that lives with him. I think they're married, aren't they?
Well, they're engaged for sure.
Engaged.
I don't know if they got married yet, but they're definitely engaged.
But
her name's Sam.
Yeah, but he
brings her out sometimes.
Yeah, but she doesn't go out anymore, and they're in an open relationship. He's not going anywhere as long as.
She doesn't really.
She doesn't care. She doesn't care what he does as long as he comes back, and he pays bills and fucking he does his fucking part. She doesn't care what he does. There's a lot of that in this club. There's a lot of it, especially with the older people, not the younger people.
I mean, everyone's just kind of like, whatever, man, whatever, whatever fucking works.
Nothing's permanent in that shit anyway. They're just they're having fun, and they don't take anything fucking seriously. This is Florida, okay? It's
and I don't even know if that's exclusive to the goth scene, or even. I kind of feel like that's. Well, I kind of feel like that goth people or people in there are more open about it.
They're just more open about it.
But I kind of feel like that happens everywhere. It's just like people don't talk about it as much.
And Florida's fucking got really good vibes, but it's insane. It's insane. People are fucking funny as fuck here.
Well, the craziest people from the rest of the country.
Florida man,
inevitably.
Yeah, they're funny. There's no real.
There is some truth to that.
There's no real. There's rules, but they're not the traditional rules. It's just kind of. Okay, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, it's just
like
that.
I said, it's hard for us to say because it's just kind of like I don't really know.
We know all these people, so it's hard to judge.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I've known all these people like for years and years, so it's just kind of like whatever they're doing. Like, are they hurting anybody? They're not killing. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Like Scott Straight.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, Scott Straight as an arrow. He shows up with a fucking transsexual girl.
And no one no one bats an eye, but was like, all right,
fine, yeah,
whatever.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she's cool. Yeah, fine.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody, well, like I said,
nobody cares.
Most of the people that go to Barbarella, or which used to be our bar, on Saturday night, it tends to be an older crowd. So it's usually people, I mean, it's usually people that lived through the 80s to whatever degree. So it's usually people that are in their 40s or 50s.
They've seen everything
but are still
already.
in the scene. So it's just kind of like those people have been around forever. So it's like you can't really shock them with anything anymore. You could show up with this and that, and they're just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we run into like, and young people show up in their 20s, and they're kind of amazed by a lot of the shit that's happening. They go, old people do this? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Well, see, that's what you have to. That would be like. I mean, it's not equivalent because our parents weren't.
No, they weren't
into like got shit. But
it's Gen X.
So the thing about it is that I don't know if there's any equivalent because we know people that are our age that have kids that are in their 20s, and the kids that are in their 20s. So it's kind of like. I kind of feel like people that are in their 20s are always kind of like grossed out by, oh my God, I don't want to hear about like my parents doing all this kind of stuff. So there is that, but honestly, I feel like it's less, I don't know, it's less of a thing because like I said, a lot of our friends that have kids that age, and the kids will come out to the club like with their significant other, whoever it happens to be at the time, and there's all kind of, and they're just kind of like, yep, they're 21 now, and it's like...
And it's funny because they're not making any kind of statement or anything. They're just being who they are. They're not really even wearing it on their sleeve. They're just, okay, like, there's a couple we've known for fucking, oh man, probably 11, 12, 13 years now. And she's a lawyer, okay? They got a lot of money. She's a lawyer. He's an ex-con. They're in the fetish scene. They always have a girlfriend that lives with them.
I mean, they have different, but
they trade girlfriends out. The girlfriend,
but it's usually kind of like they'll have one for like a long time,
for a couple
and then
years,
that one will leave, and then they'll get another.
They get another girlfriend.
So it's like a long-term situation, but it's
and the girlfriend lives in the house.
Yeah,
but they got kids, so teenage daughters and shit are in the house knowing that all this is going on.
Well, the daughter's probably in her 20s.
Oh, she's in her 20s.
She's got to be because she was a teenager when
she's back in those days.
Last time I was at her house.
And what's funny is that they grow up seeing this and they roll their eyes at it. They're just like, oh my God. They think it's fucking. They think it's.
Well, like I said,
They think it's ridiculous.
When it's your parents,
They're like,
it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like that's a universal among like teenagers. There's like nobody wants to think about their parents having a third and like strapping her to some shit in the garage and whipping her. Nobody wants to think about
fetish stuff.
Right.
And
nobody wants to think about that. And it does happen, but nobody wants to think about it.
And the daughter is just like yuppie as hell. Like,
when you're older, you're kind of
yuppie.
like, yeah, I get it. But when you're like in your teens or 20s, you're like, gross. They're old.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, and the daughter was like, and the daughter and the daughter's friends would be over. And,
Like,
and we're throwing a
Jesus
party we have a party going on in there, and fucking I'm cooking pizza. Remember that?
That's right. Yeah, you took all this. I think it was my birthday.
They asked for the craziest pizza, and I was like, man, get out of here. So can we have a pizza that has just oil on it and herbs, no cheese?
So they wanted like focaccia, essentially.
Yeah, and then I want a tomato.
Make a focaccia.
And they were telling me, and I was like, man, go get out of here. I just kicked her out. Like, that's not pizza. Get out of here. And she wanted something on there that was just totally ridiculous. So I was like, you don't fuck with me.
I kind of remember.
Like, and I want some chocolate on it, or something. It was some stupid shit like that. I was like, no, stop fucking busting my nuts.
It wasn't chocolate.
It was something crazy. She had something crazy on it, and I was like, you're fucking with me. Get out of here. And
it wasn't chocolate though.
But the fucking the daughter and her friends were like preppies, totally opposite. So remember the Absolutely Fabulous program? Remember where the fucking slutty mom had the real conservative daughter?
It's exactly like that.
It was exactly
it's pretty
like
much
that.
exactly
Yeah,
like
it was exactly
Not
like
in
that.
all situations, because we do know some couples that have like kids that are in their teens and 20s that come out to the club now that are also like into the same shit. Yeah. But sometimes it takes a while to get there, though, because we do know this one couple, and they had a kid, and she has actually 2 kids, and the one older daughter is in her 20s, and then the one is like 18, 19, something like that. And she went through a phase where she was like, oh man, this goth shit, you guys are too old to be doing this, blah blah blah. But then like a few years went by and she matured a little bit, and she's like, oh wait, this shit's pretty cool. So now she brings her boyfriend to the club too.
But the couple was a trip because
they're awesome. They still come out. We saw them last week, actually.
The woman is probably about 5'8", 5'7", maybe. She looks kind of like a lawyer or a school teacher. Boobs and shit, fucking showing up in black rubber. The dude looks like a miniature Benito Mussolini. Bald, looks just like Mussolini. I call him, what's up, Mussolini?
Yeah, he calls
That's a Benito. And he's like, man, fucking, looks like a little Benito Mussolini. And the girlfriends have ranged from fucking super hot to pretty good looking. And
they're almost always younger. But honestly,
younger,
it's almost all.
And it's her. It's her doing it, not him.
Yeah, not him.
Yeah, she gets girlfriends, and he's like, okay, yeah. The nails.
Yeah.
It's a throuple. It's always a throuple.
They always have somebody, but like I said, they tend to keep one for a very long time.
Now it's kind of like a weird relationship where they got mad one time. They were fighting. And I said, where are they? And she goes, I don't know, fuck them. You know what I mean? Then she storms across the fucking street. Remember that from Mannequins?
Yeah, that was
walking all sideways.
That was just like that was a couple months ago.
It was fucking funny.
She was outside smoking like with some other people. Fuck, I don't know where
I don't know where them bitches are.
So I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, she was mad. She was mad at him. Something had happened.
I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Yeah,
she got mad for whatever reason. And
she
went stomping off across the street, and I was like,
"Yep." Little fetish heels and shit.
And she was kind of drunk, you know. But yet she stayed upright. So
yeah, it's fucking funny.
Respect, mad respect. I don't think we saw her again after that. So they probably kicked her out. Well, like I said,
was kicked out. Yeah.
I mean, they have a nice house. I don't know if they live in the same one that they lived in a long time ago.
Yeah, big 2-story house.
So, but they always like move the girlfriend in.
Yeah,
because they have like a bunch of fetish stuff in their house.
Yeah,
like in the garage and stuff.
Their house was kind of like the house we left, but 2 stories, like this one. And nicer than this one, actually, from what I remember. I'd surprised say
it was really nice.
That house was nice.
We had a couple parties there. They threw a birthday party for me there several years ago. Yeah. I don't remember if that was the same. No, because they had a birthday party for me, and then like they had another party that was for something else, and then they asked you to make pizzas there. So you brought all the stuff in a cooler and you made pizzas.
And he was like, "Man, when you break pizza, you really do make it. I thought you were bullshitting." I said, "No."
We had this big, huge cooler, and he brought like all the ingredients, and he brought the stone and the peel.
I
and
brought real buffalo mozzarella cheese and everything.
And we made like a shit ton of pizzas for everybody. That
now, I don't really remember what he does for a living. I don't know if he does anything.
I think he does, but I can't remember what it is either, to be honest.
She represented him in some kind of trial.
They've been married
forever, yeah. That's how they got married. That's how he met her.
They've been married forever.
But he did a little bit of time over something. I don't even know what it was. I didn't ask.
I don't even remember either. I thought that I knew at some point, but yeah, it seemed like something that wasn't really
she was his defense. It was probably having something to do with a fetish scene.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe it was kind of like indecent exposure. Something like that.
Might have been a complaint against him or something.
That's what I mean.
But she's like, "Oh, you're into that?" She's like, "Hell yeah!"
All right.
Shit like that. But
I mean, they're fucking serious. Any fetish event, they're
fucking funny, man.
They're always there. But they're super nice. I really like the two of them. I really like the two of them. I used to go to lunch with them.
They're our age,
every
aren't
fucking
they?
week.
Or older, maybe. I think they're our age.
I think they're about our age.
Yeah.
Late 40s, early 50s, same as us.
Yeah.
But like I said, you would be shocked at how, because somebody said, Murder Hornet said, I have a ex-girlfriend 10 years older than me. She still goes out clubbing like she's still in her 20s. Yeah. A lot of people do, and honestly, I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe some people still look askance at that, but I'm like, you would actually be shocked at like how many people our age or older are still going out to clubs. And it's not kind of like, oh, you're out there fucking... They're not all, like, fucking drinking to X and, like, passing out in the gutter or anything like that. They're just going out and having a couple drinks and dancing, like, having a good time. Which, like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Gramthars is going about again about having strangers cornholing. Look, those scenes, there are no strangers. Those people all know each other. They all know each other.
That's what I mean. I think it would be weird just like going someplace and just like, hey, some random motherfucker you don't know. Like that seems like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like if you're gonna do that, it's probably better to like establish an actual like. Hopefully they're friends of yours, so like friends. You actually know those people.
Yeah.
Like outside of doing that kind of stuff.
According to them, Jenny and I don't go to those kind of fetish events. We'll go to the fucking what's called a fetish event at the Dad's Club, which is nothing more than fetish fashion. No fetish.
Pretty much. It's just, and they'll do like some kind of like, oh, we're gonna put somebody up on the thing and whip them, and everybody will look at it and stuff like that. But it's like it's not an actual fetish event where people are actually doing fetish shit.
Yeah,
which sometimes the castle has those. But.
Yeah, the actual fetish events happen at the castle, and
because they have a dungeon.
Yeah, and those really nothing really happens at those either. But those people know each other. Yeah, the shit where it goes down is at private parties, and that happens at fucking mansions. Okay, that doesn't happen in the fucking hood. That's in the fucking mansions. And it's by invitation only. That's some eyes wide shut stuff. Exactly. Like that.
But it's just,
well... But they all know each other.
That's the thing. It's just like anything else. It's not really like... I kind of feel like maybe people perceive that it's like, oh, there's some weird freaky shit. Like you're just going to like banging a bunch of people that you've never seen before. No. That's not usually what happens. Like I said, usually it's like, well, much like the goth scene, the fetish scene is very close-knit. Right. Everybody knows everybody or knows somebody that knows that other person. So it's like, this isn't like just some random person. No. You know who that person is.
It's at one of these multi-million-dollar Miami, Tampa, or Orlando mansions that have pools. They have catering. And then they'll have a fucking DJ. And yeah, sex is happening. But those people all know each other, and they've been going to those same groups of parties for fucking decades.
That's what I mean. So it's not like you're just like showing up being like, hey, who are these people? Let's fuck these people. It's not like that.
These are fucking hot people that have been in it for a long time, and judges, and fucking state representatives, and fucking prosecutors and shit. These are powerful people. It's just like Eyes Wide Shut. You know who knew all about that? It's fucking Dimitri. Dimitri was all into that scene. He fucking spun at some of those scenes.
I went to a few of those kind of parties back in the day before I met you.
Yeah, he says it's not. He said that was a lot of that was back in the day. It's not as common as it was.
It's not. Yeah,
it was more like '90s, late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, the ones I went to were mid '90s. I want to say it was like mid '90s, and it was like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, that kind of area. They used to have like a lot of them back.
He said Jen wasn't in on it. It was just before he met Jen.
Yeah.
But he was spinning at some of those.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's not.
And they were catered.
When you think about it, it's not really all that weird. It's like a big event.
Big event. And
if that's what you're into, and you know the other people that are into it, it's not really all that.
It's in an enclosed community on a little private fucking estate, all lit up, fucking trees and pool party and bunch of nudism happening and half nude people or just nude people walking around and fucking having sex and fucking doing fetish stuff and swapping wives, but they know each other.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, it's not just like randos.
It's not random.
Then they don't just like let randos in there either.
No.
I kind of feel like that's what happened. Because like I said, if you go to Mannequin, because Mannequins will have like a fetish event, like a fetish party, like every now and then. They just had another one. They had one like last Friday, I think. But like I said, that's mostly like just a fashion thing. You know, but when you have like an actual fetish party, like a serious one, they will kind of vet like who comes in there.
Yeah,
like,
another thing is there's a lot of rules.
Yeah,
it's not a free-for-all.
They have dress codes and they have like all these like really strict rules because they don't, like I said, they just don't want some random motherfucker coming in there and like.
They mostly know each other, but there's a bunch of special etiquette that they use. You can't just go up and fucking demand something out of people. They're like, fuck you.
Yeah,
you got to be in with them. You know what I mean? And they're all. Some people are into certain things, and other people aren't. But you know, according to what Dimitri said, he said most of it is just fucking soft bondage and role playing. It's nothing.
That's what I mean. I kind of feel like
dangerous.
You don't really see the real extreme shit. Like I said, I went to a party. I think it was in Fort Lauderdale. I want to say it was Fort Lauderdale, and this is probably back in the '90s. And there were some people there that were into scat play.
Damn.
Not my favorite thing.
Yeah, but
super
he didn't
gross,
mention anything
actually,
about that. He said any of that
scat. But they weren't doing it live, but they did have like an area for that.
Right.
And I was just kind of like, not going.
Dimitri said
no thanks.
Dimitri told me that the events that he was talking about that were fucking going on in those mansions was very vanilla. Very vanilla.
I imagine it probably
was
would be.
mostly
Because the thing about, I mean, people talk about fetish like, ooh, it's this big thing, but it's like most people, it's like, they just wanted to get like fucking handcuffed and like whipped and shit. Like that's that's like nothing.
Dominatrix there.
That's like some 50 Shades of Grey shit.
Right. Dominatrix there and fucking, Dominator masters and shit with all their equipment, and they're like fucking real good at the trade.
Yeah, eat out of a dog bowl, whatever.
And they had all this stuff. Well, it was mostly, I think, was shit like suspension and crap like that. You know what I mean? Which I'm not into that. I really don't care. But he said most of it was the food and the fucking just the socialization and people making role play and people making out and shit. Fucking and he said that. Said that there was money involved in some of it because you have powerful rich guys and they fucking look like shit and they want to do some role play with somebody's wife who's fucking hot as hell and they're not really all that wealthy, so he makes a donation and the girl is a performer, so she puts on a show for the dude or does the thing for the dude, and the husband's there, you know what I mean, as an assistant and shit sometimes. So there's some of that. I wouldn't necessarily call it prostitution because there really wouldn't be any sex involved. It's just fetish type shit, bondage and role play stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, it's like if that's what people, and most of that stuff, like you said, is very, very vanilla.
Yeah, most of them are not into actual intercourse.
Yeah, it's usually like other shit.
It's other stuff. Yeah.
Other shit. Like, I'm not saying they don't do that, but I'm just saying that
most of it's not.
Most of it's like all the like accoutrement, like kind of around it.
Well, fucking a lot of the fetish scene, fucking the whole idea that there's this hot chick who's a dominatrix, you can't get it, is the whole erotic thing for the dude. You know what I mean? It's like an unattainable woman who's gonna fucking do all this shit.
Yeah, because some dudes are super.
Yeah, and they'll pay because they can't get it.
Because they can't get it.
They can't get it. Yeah.
And then it's like, ooh, now I'm gonna pay her extra to like step on my nuts.
Yeah, she's gonna kick me in the nuts. Or she's
which,
gonna
like I said, I could get behind that.
She's gonna spit in my mouth and call me a piece of garbage.
Like
But
I
then
said,
she'll reward
make me drink out of the toilet.
Yeah. No, I don't think they do that shit.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
you've never seen them like making them drink out of a dog bowl or on a toilet or something like that.
Yeah, in fucking videos and stuff every now and then I've heard about it, but I don't think it's what happened at those parties.
Well, maybe not at the parties, but
No,
I have seen
they're
that
not
happen
doing that.
otherwise. I have seen that. Well, some guys like to be degraded. Like, that's what...
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I kind of feel like... And I'm sure this isn't a universal rule, but I do kind of feel like a lot of those dudes that are really into being degraded, like, either...
They're
drinking
powerful dudes.
Yeah, it's usually... Well, because in their life, they have to, like, control all this stuff, and they have to feel like they're always on all the time, so it's like, in their sexual life, they want to be, like, just a piece of shit. So they enjoy being treated like a piece of shit. They want to drink out of the toilet. They want some chick in high heels to like step on their nuts or whatever. And that's very, very interesting to me. That's very interesting to me. But, you know.
Well,
I've seen it
they
happen.
ask the dude first. Everything that they do, they fucking...
Well, that's another thing, too. You
It's
can't
not
just
just
do
random
whatever the
shit.
fuck you want.
Right, yeah.
You have to... There's all...
Those dudes are looking for certain things.
In some ways, it's like a lot more to navigate than just regular vanilla sex, because you have to have like all these parameters. It's like, you know, what are the extent of like what we can do? What's the safe word? Like if I go too far, you know, how do you get me to stop and shit like that? So they really have to like have a lot of discussion. And in some ways, that's why I would argue like why the fetish scene is maybe more psychologically healthy than like regular sex, because at least they actually have a discussion about this is what we want to do, like this is too much, this is, you know what I mean, and is this okay, is this not okay. They really do like communicate like pretty well on that kind of stuff generally. And that's, like I said, that's why you can't just, like, wander into the shit. Because there's, like, a whole bunch of, like, rules about it. Danny Rowling said, what actual year did chicks start shaving their bushes on a mass scale?
That was probably 90s.
I feel like it was probably the 90s. I feel like it was probably the 90s. I kind of feel like the last heyday of, like, the full bush was maybe... Well, 70s was the big heyday. Everybody liked that because it was natural.
70s was out of fucking control.
But... yeah, I kind of feel like in the 80s people started to say, well, especially after they were wearing that like fucking aerobic gear that came like way the fuck up here on your thighs, so ridiculous. It's like you kind of had to shave at least some, or like some hair would poke out with the
if you go back if you go back and look at 70s porn, very few of those women were shaved, and the ones that were shaved were kind of like the fetishy ones. I can't name them offhand, but there was a blonde that was always fucking shaved. Big boobs, but I can't remember what her name was. And that was the first time I saw it in the 70s. She was like proto-goth.
It's really weird to think about because I kind of feel like in the 70s, and it's not like I was, you know, watching a bunch of porn or nothing, like, because I was a kid in the 70s. But I'm just saying that it feels like...
Couldn't watch it in the 70s.
Well, no. I was, like I said, I was a little kid.
Fucking 8mm fucking...
That, too.
Yeah.
So you really kind of had to go out of your way.
You're right.
But I do kind of feel like...
You just see it now fucking on the internet.
Yeah, I do kind of feel like... You know, people had big bushes in the 70s, and that was kind of like fine because, like I said, it was natural. But
they didn't know any better.
I kind of feel like once the 80s got started, because everything was kind of very
it went to video.
Artificial.
Well, it went to video,
and because porn went to video and it was more readily accessible, I think women started being like, "Oh shit, I need to like shave all that shit off."
You're right.
Because of a lot of the outfits they were wearing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it was just 70s. It was. I think 60s, it went from illegal to legal in the 70s. Porn in the United States did. It started to become control. But there wasn't really an art to it yet. They tried to make the shit into movies, really. They were like doing full featured films, which that didn't sell well. I mean, it sell well back then, but that's not what the essence of porn was. The essence of porn was actually what you saw later in the 80s, which was VHS and people playing it at home on their fucking VCRs. Because fucking the only place you'd see porn was in a theater, and if you're in a theater fucking full of dudes fucking jerking off and shit.
Yeah, nobody wants to. Nobody wants to go there.
Do you want to do that shit for? And then they go to fucking these weird coin-operated fucking jerk-off booths and shit, fucking nasty shit. And that wasn't so. Quality control was fucking bad. You know what I mean? Because it's scuzzy dudes to begin with who are fucking renting this shit. When the VCR came out, it's now going mainstream. So the entire industry has to become tightened up a lot, much more efficient, dropping all these pretenses about it being a movie and having a story. It's just scenes. Scene after scene after scene. All on a good VHS tape that you could buy or rent. And that was the beginning of modern porn, really. And that was also the beginning of fucking hygiene and professionalism. Because when you started to see the beginnings in the 80s of fucking professional porn superstars. Like Ginger Lynn and Amber Lynn. They all had Lynn on the names of them bitches' names.
Because Lynn is the porniest name of all.
Porniest name of all. Like fucking
Sorry, Lynn.
Amber Lynn, Tony Lynn, Lynn.
I wonder if that was because Lynn was a very, very common middle name.
I think
people for women of a certain age.
I think Ginger Lynn was a star. If you looked like her, then you put the name Lynn.
So it was kind of like Bruce Lee, where everybody was
everyone
like,
being Bruce Lee. You're
right. I got
That's what I think it is. So, and then life imitates art when people are fucking seeing the porn, and fucking you have professional porn stars with good fucking hygiene and grooming. All of a sudden, they expect that from the women, and it starts fucking becoming mainstream.
I think, and I definitely think it was porn that started that.
Mm-hmm.
They were like,
porn started to raise the standards.
Well, dudes watch porn, and now dudes are expecting women they sleep with to not have pubic hair, so everyone's.
But then it went to the men.
Yeah.
Then it went to the men because fucking looking porn. Most of those
we gotta
dudes
do it. Y'all gotta do it.
Yeah. So but fucking 91 when I joined the army. In the infantry, we all went commando, which is you don't wear underwear because fucking in the field as light infantry. That's just something more to fucking chafe the shit out of you while you're fucking marching. And when you're in the field, you can't take a shower. You just basically clean yourself with fucking handy wipes. So you start shaving. And that's where the sense is. So going commando is no underwear and shave. So you're ready for fucking porn. You get habits. You get those habits.
Did you bleach your asshole?
Didn't bleach my asshole. No reason to bleach my asshole.
Just wondering.
Yeah. So it's just the way it would evolve for us. I don't know what they do now. They probably don't do shit. I mean, look at some of these young people. They look fucking terrible. A lot of them that I see. Bad physical shape and shit.
Well, I haven't really watched any recent porn, so I don't know.
No, I'm not talking about recent porn. The recent porn stars actually look great. I'm talking about actual just people walking around.
Yeah.
Some of the newer generations, it's just like some of these dudes don't even look like they went through puberty. They're just fat. Fat with little skinny arms. Hairy as fuck. But, I don't know. Weird.
They were just kind of like, it's just too much for me to deal with, maybe.
Too much for me to deal with. I'm not going to get laid, so I'm not even going to try. A lot of them look like losers. Or they're the other extreme. Kid's 18, looks fantastic, and I go, bitch, you're on fucking steroids. I see that, too.
Kaylin Higgins said, do you think that dichotomy of BDSM is only associated with power or lack thereof? If so, if anyone who's into it really mentally healthy?
I always thought it was childish. I liked the fucking.
To be honest, I think
in the fashion, but I never really
some ways, though, like I said, I would kind of argue that maybe it might be slightly more mentally healthy than people that don't.
No.
Well, no, because there's always power dynamics.
I never cared
in any relationship.
I never overanalyzed any of that shit.
No, what I'm saying, there's always power dynamics in any relationship, and I kind of feel like BDSM at least is forthright about that. And have discussions about it and like set the parameters of like what everyone's role is. So in that way, I kind of feel like they have their shit together more than people that don't really examine it in any way.
To me, I always thought it as unnecessarily overcomplicated and kind of, I don't know, I want to say fucking ritualistic and maybe a little bit childish. But I always liked the outfits. I liked the way it looked. The clothes and shit, the outfits. I always thought that was great.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, like, when actual sex is involved, you're just kind of like, Jesus Christ, you just want to get on with it.
Let's go. Yeah.
Like, I get that. Right. Like, but, Glenn Little says, I talked my brother into going into a swinger house in Australia. $100 for free pool and beer and sex. Never saw him so happy. He never thanked me. Oh, well, he's dead now. Is he really? Well, I'm sorry about that, unless you're fucking with me, in which case, whatever.
No way to tell him.
Gramthars says,
tell you anything.
The worst job in the world, jizz mopper at a porn video arcade. Yeah, probably.
Good things, those are all gone.
Yeah, God, they were so gross. Gone, yeah. Well, we were just watching that movie Hardcore that they filmed at actual, like, porn theaters. And,
in L.A., they were cheap as shit looking.
And, like, fucking tug parlors or what the fuck ever. Like, back in L.A. at the time, I'm like, man, those places are so gross. They never, like, washed anything. Like, everything, like, looks sticky.
Nasty, perverted motherfuckers.
Michael Schaefer said, you take the street you first lived on. Oh, yeah, I've heard this. And your first pet's name to come up with your porn name.
Yeah.
I have a shitty porn name. My porn name would be Ridgewood Colonel. That's not a good porn name.
It'd be Jackson Kitty.
That's actually a pretty good porn
Jackson
name.
Kitty.
Well, kind of like Jackson Galaxy.
Yeah.
Who actually
Kitty
is
Jackson.
who is actually like the cat daddy. Good tips. Gramthars' porn name is Abraham Kent. That's pretty good, actually. That's a pretty good porn name. Mine is shitty.
Dick Packard.
That's a good one, actually. Dick Packard. Even though it kind of sounds like a dude that would have worked at NASA back in the 50s. Yeah. But it also sounds like a porn name. So that's why it's good, because it's like it could go either way. Yeah. People in those booths would jizz on the buttons and where you put the money for the next sucker to touch. That's what I mean. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's not like the people that worked there were all that concerned about hygiene, I would imagine. And it's like they probably just got minimum wage and they're just kind of like, man, I'm not mopping up after these gross ass motherfuckers. Like these fucking old middle-aged fat dudes that are like wandering in there and shit like that. I kind of feel like it's that. Yikes.
Jenny, I'm getting sleepy. You getting hungry? You getting hungry?
Yeah, starving.
Okay, then let me make us something to eat.
What are you gonna make?
I don't know. See what's down there. Well, I got Mexican chicken.
Yeah.
So I can do more tacos. I got pork tenderloin that I could slice and make sandwiches, like maybe out of fucking pita bread with cheese or something. What are you interested in?
I don't know. Sandwich sounds good.
Sandwich sounds good?
Sandwich,
okay.
yeah.
I'll make us a sandwich then.
Glenn Little said he is dead. Well, I am sorry then.
Okay.
I didn't know if you were just fucking with me. You never know. Because some people have like weird...
All right, people. I'm going to go ahead and fucking shut this shit down.
That's another shirt that we need.
Yeah,
so a couple of people have requested that we have shut this shit down.
Shut this shit down, sure.
All right. So we will be back on Sunday evening, and we're going to be talking about the George Romero film Monkey Shines from the late 1980s. That's the movie we're going to be talking about.
That movie, man. Okay.
Yeah. That's the one we're going to be talking about. So hopefully you guys can come back and join us. Have a good weekend up until then. Thank you for dropping by. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for super chats. And we will see you guys again on Sunday evening. Bye.